Yes, people, big up to all of you. Welcome to another Transfer Watch show. Untrusted Perspective. I do hope you're all doing well. Today we'll talk about Raphinha, rumors linking Raphinha with a move to Chelsea, Rayan Cherki, Victor Osimhen, and Mikel Obi becoming that much needed agent that we've all been looking for to help us secure the signature of Victor Osimhen. Other than that, again, I hope you're all doing well. Again, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. Without wasting much of your time, sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, big up to all of you. I'm quite sure we're all still enjoying that draw, a draw that seemed as a winner for us Chelsea fans because nobody gave us a chance. Only a few people believe we can actually get the result out of that game. Or a game, actually, you can argue that we deserved to win. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that particular game. We're here to talk a transfer. As for me, I've watched it countless times, so many times that I can't even say how many times I've watched it. But that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go a long way. We are 6 minutes into the show, and we have 8 likes. We got 120 likes the last time, and that's the first for a while after the transfer window shot. Hopefully we'll get to that today. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. And quickly, let me say hello to those of you in the chat. Chelsea Mitchell is in the house. Big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. You know what to do when you get a chance to share the link to your YouTube channel. When I get there, I will talk about it. And you too. Yep, that's Jerry's. If you own a YouTube channel and you're a member here, you're a moderator, you know what to do. And when I see the comments, I request some people to go check out and subscribe to your YouTube channel. I'll talk more about it, but you have to initiate that process. And Oscar, nice to see you, Oscar. I hope you're doing well. Oscar, the best O2. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show, brother. Who spammed the hearts? We like the hearts icon. Keep clicking the hearts icon, the heart 100%, or the hearts icon, or should I call that the flower? Whatever emoji you choose just on the emoji panel, it will help us reach more people. I appreciate you. And Sicilian defends evening, guys. Evening to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. And just quickly, I want to appeal to those of you who are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat. Just know that we appreciate you because you watching alone does go a long way. But we want to ask you for one favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is just to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us because, yeah, the likes do go a long way. We sincerely do appreciate that. So thank you. And thank you very much. Let's see anything else in the chat. Trophy. Okay, I appreciate that. And Uncle Justice, it's in the house. No to Raphinha and Cherki. For me, I'd say no to Raphinha, but I'd say yes to Rayan Cherki. Still very young. But we heard at the time, for some reason, there's some, like you said, the club's hierarchy, they're concerned about with regards to his attitude. I'm not sure whether to believe that or not. For me, I'm just gonna move on from it. But that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time joining the show. Let's start with the Raphinha talk. Rumors are that Chelsea and Newcastle are the two clubs interested in signing the Brazilian international, whom honestly, in all honesty, I don't like him. Do I think he's a good footballer? But I don't like him that as a footballer. That's because for me, he's too one-dimensional, in my opinion. Even when we wanted to sign him from Leeds United, I didn't want that to happen. That's because he's very, very predictable. If you know him too well, you can stop him. That's just my opinion. And right now the rumors are that we're interested in signing him, and I don't want that to happen. Do I believe the rumors? I don't know what to do because this is not the first time the stories has emerged linking us with a move for the Brazilian international who currently plays for Barcelona. I'd rather also bring Angelo Gabriel back. I get it; he's left foot, predominantly left-footed, but for me, he's more complete than Raphinha. He's more of a creator than Raphinha is, actually, in my opinion. I hope by the time the current season ends, we'd see that I think he's good enough to play for Chelsea Football Club rather than bring back Raphinha from Barcelona. And Uncle Jesus, I want to say hello, take my time to say hello once more to you once again, because you're a special person to me. I appreciate you finding the time to join in the chat today. I hope you're doing well. And if you haven't, Uncle Jester has a podcast, a YouTube podcast. You can also call it a YouTube channel where he discusses Chelsea related matters. And believe me, you're not going to regret listening to the podcast. I will try to share the link to his podcast or YouTube channel if that's the language you prefer. By the end of the show, you can go check it out. Let's help him reach 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible, because he truly does deserve that, given his knowledge of the game and his knowledge of Chelsea Football Club, and the fact that he's no nonsense. He's not into just going the direction everyone else is going. He looks at the situation and says, you know what, I'm not going that direction. That's because it's wrong. I'm here, and listen to me why I think you should be here too. And that's the sort of person I like to argue with. Listen to you and then present their counter argument. But more importantly, go check out Uncle Justice YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. He pied on us and it went to Barcelona. No thanks. That may well be one of the, you can say, subconscious reasons why Chelsea fans don't want him. But for me, beyond that, I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's how much I deep down believe Barcelona will ask of us. Should we make our, you can say, if in fact we're interested in signing him and we make that official, I think they'll be asking for a premium, and I don't think it's worth that. Would be better off bringing back Angelo Gabriel. And as we can see, these kids, all they need is just to play together for a while, and believe me, they'll be fearsome. That's just my opinion. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have to start addressing the items we have lined up one by one, mainly news items. In the case of Raphinha, for me, it's a no. And if you're in the chat, let me know whether you think the club should go for Raphinha or whether you think we should just bring back Angelo Gabriel at the end of the season. I think that should be the case. If anything, let's look to sign another number 9 and then bring back Angelo Gabriel at the end of the season, because I want him to finish the season there at Strasbourg. And Eugene is in the house. Pick up, Eugene. Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this afternoon for me, evening to some and morning to some. So let's start addressing the items one by one. And I think the first item we have here is this one here. The Brighton owner trying to milk us. I think he's setting the stage, in my opinion, so that if we're truly interested in signing Ferguson, we'd have to pay premium. But I don't think we're interested in signing him. And I think for us to do business with Brighton again, I don't see the need there. Do I think Ferguson is a good player? I'd say yes, but do we need him? If we're signing him as a number 9, then it's a mistake. I don't think if we really want to mix things up, I don't think he's the player we need. Say this a report that's Chelsea Dodgers quoting Alex Crook. It says Chelsea are potential suitors of Ivan. I don't know, is it pronounced Ivan? No, Ivan. EVAN and Ivan Ferguson. Tony Bloom is of the belief Ferguson is now worth even more than former teammate Moises Caicedo, who cost Chelsea a British record fee of £115 million. To me, even though I don't want to pay attention to this. I think that's just them. Probably they've heard the rumors, the nonsense rumors that were out there a month ago or so, saying that we're interested in signing Evan Ferguson. I don't think that's the truth. I think even if we're interested in signing a forward, I don't think he's the guy for us right now. I'd rather we go for a more even though I'm not into traditional strikers, but if we really want to mix it up, I think we should go for a more traditional, line type of striker and not a Ferguson. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. And actually, I don't know where the rumors are coming from. In my opinion, I don't think we need them. Let's see. Big up to you too, EE. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go along with Coach. That's a Raphinha rumors. It's not true. It's just Chelsea. It could be cost of Chelsea's interest last year. So probably they're recycling old news. So I appreciate you saying that, and that's why we're here to look at some rumors and come to a sensible conclusion. So I believe you. You're not the first to say that the rumors aren't true. I saw it on ESPN and I thought, okay, maybe we should talk about it. It just doesn't make sense. He's not a player I like. I think he's a good player, but I think he's too one-dimensional to my liking, in my opinion. Reports say the owners want a world-class attacker. Yep. And there's no way to tell who that person is. There are reasons to believe Victor Osimhen may well be that striker in question, or maybe Ivan Toney, but we'll find out in a bit. We'll have items lined up that we'll talk about. I am starting to believe Osimhen is the one they are after. There's no way to confirm that, but there are, you can say, rumors out there, and such, you can say, for instance, Mikel's comment, Mikel's interview on his podcast, those things you can say, big enough to get one to start thinking maybe Victor Osimhen is the one we're looking to sign. When? That's another question, because the truth remains, for Chelsea to sign another striker in January depends largely on how Amanda Broya, Christopher Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson, on how well they do. If they start firing, if Nkunku comes back and all of them, and the three of them start firing on all cylinders, I don't see us going for a striker in January and also end up paying premium for that. I don't think so, but we'll find out what the club does. For me, I'd say all we need is patience with the you can say forwards we have. If they click properly, there'll be no need to go for a more traditional striker like a lot of people are suggesting. But that's just my opinion. We'll find out in a bit. And Eugene also says that I think they will go for Osimhen because of market, and Chelsea have biggest fan base in Nigeria, so it will be like a win. Here's the thing. Something else that I'm quite sure, I've said that 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it again, something that I'm quite sure the club will consider. We have Jackson, who's African, and also Osimhen is African, and both represent their countries on international level. AFCON comes around every 2 years, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't quite remember the frequency right now, but let's say it comes around every 2 years. So we'll be whenever AFCON comes around, we'll be losing two players that you can argue by the time of the next AFCON comes around, they'd be very important to us. And those are two African players. So it just doesn't make sense. As much as I like Osimhen, I don't think it makes sense to sign another African striker. We're not that strong yet. I get it. The last time I talked about this concern, for me, it's a concern. I don't know whether that's the case for the owners at the moment, but I think they will consider that before signing the check for Victor Osimhen. Maybe if the plan will be at some point to add one more striker who's not African and will not leave for AFCON every time AFCON comes around. Right now, okay, let me go back to what I was saying. I presented the argument that I don't think it makes sense to have two top African strikers. That every time that will lead to every time AFCON comes around, we will lose them both to the African Cup of Nations competition. It just doesn't make sense. And I think it was Oladipo Mesole whose counter argument was that we've had that issue before. He mentioned the era where we had the likes of Michael Essien, John Mikel Obi, Solomon Kalou, Didier Drogba. I think if they said, let's just go with the four of them. And yeah, we happened to we had situations where we lost them all to one African competition. I think I'm correct. So, but right now, we don't have a squad that's as strong as the squad we had at the time. Right now, if we lose a single player, we're in serious trouble. Look at how we suffered, how we're suffering due to the absence of Christopher Nkunku, how we've suffered due to the absence of what's his name, Reece James. So my point is, I don't think we have the luxury to lose even a single player right now. We need all the players available. Even if you say, yeah, African lasts just for 2 weeks, it just doesn't make sense to have two Africans, top African strikers that right now, if we lose them, would be in serious trouble. But that's just my argument. But if they feel like we can still lose them to African and still be doing well, I'm okay with it. I'm just presenting that because is something that I'm concerned about. Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. We have 15 likes. We should be doing better than that. And the Prince is here. Big up the Prince. Big up my dear Chelsea family. No to Raphinha and Ferguson at this point in time. I don't think we need any players from Brighton. Here's the thing. If they have the product, Chelsea will more. You can say, let's say, if they have the product or the player that Chelsea wants to sign, they will go for him or for that particular player. It doesn't matter the relationship or how the fans feel about with regards to our dealings with Brighton so far, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion anyway. We might have to pay a premium in January to fight a fight of competition in the summer. Madrid could be after Victor as well. I don't think they are. If they are serious, if they want to sign him, we'll be hearing about that right now. I think Madrid's priority is what's his name, Mbappe, the French international. At least Poch will try them. We'll try. Then they will decide. Yep, that's the plan right now. I don't think the club. Chelsea are in a hurry to sign a new striker. I think they will wait and see what happens from now to January. Yes, but Nigerians are crazy on social media for Osimhen. Yeah, it's natural that they are pushing for the club to sign their fellow countryman, in my opinion. For me, I'm just trying to be as objective as possible because I want the best for my club. And Blue Board Analysis, that is Jerezy's YouTube channel, has officially launched. Hit that subscribe button for a distinct, insightful, and a rational perspective on all things at Chelsea. And he's also provided the link to his YouTube channel. Please go check it out and be sure to subscribe. Let's help him grow. And this says that, trust me, they are crazy to see us in him. Chelsea, at Chelsea, they don't want to even think about what profile of striker we need. Here's the thing, that doesn't move a needle, in my opinion. It doesn't matter whether the whole population of Nigeria are tweeting about it or talking about it. What matters is what the manager wants, the profile of a striker that the manager wants, and everything at this point, no matter how anybody sees this, people see it, all rumors at this point, in my opinion. But let's see. A big up to you two DJs. Appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well, brother. And this says Mbappe is a Real Madrid's a priority. However, there's conflicting reports that Real Madrid may look at buying out Haaland's contract at Manchester City. Here's the thing. Mbappe joins Real Madrid as a free agent, so they're not concerned. They can still have him and so buy out Haaland's contract at City. In my opinion, then that will cost them quite a lot. But that's just me. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Bobby, I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I don't know if you've heard the rumors on, or if you've seen the rumors or the rumor on ESPN suggesting that Chelsea and Newcastle are both interested in bringing Raphinha back to Chelsea Football Club. And I don't want that to happen. And that's because I think Angelo Gabriel is a better player. And I think we can actually do without signing another player in that department for now until the end of the season, which gives Angelo Gabriel the time to play more game and be more established before coming back to Chelsea. But let's hear you, Bobby. More importantly, I hope you're doing well. Let's hear you if you're there.
Yeah, big up, coach.
Big up,
Yeah, as we approach January, there'll be more and more players linked to Chelsea. I tend to agree. I mean, Raphinha, do we need him? Probably not. Madueke hasn't really got himself into form, even before we think of Angelo Gabriel. They're players that we can play in the right.
Mhm,
He can also do a wing back role. Look, he's a good player, but I think in terms of Rafinha, maybe the ship has sailed for him. Him going to Newcastle, I don't know. Would he want to go there? I really don't know. I think we've got to that point where our focus has to be one,
mhm,
get our injuries back. Two, build an integrated team. And then see what additions we need. Even people talking about Osimhen, even Ivan Tony, as fantastic as those two strikers are, we still have a striker that hasn't had his opportunity as such because he's always been injured.
mhm,
And whenever he is fit enough to play, he shows us flashes. I want to see a full term of Amando Broja uninjured. I think he's going to be good enough a striker for us. I was watching an interview by Raheem Sterling about him with Ian Wright, where Raheem Sterling referred to him as the truth in relation to his speed. I'm inclined to believe that. I think we've not seen the best of Amando Broja. We were talking about, adding this player, that player. The problem with Chelsea is that we have never had a decent uh, uh, um, itinerary of a squad to call upon.
mhm,
This has not happened for 3 solid years. It's an unprecedented period of time. Unprecedented. We need to have our players back. Nkunku, Lavia, all of them. Let us integrate a team. And if the current situation has taught us anything, it should have taught us the fact that we have some good players, but we don't even appreciate it. Um, uh, the statistics should be embarrassing people about Gallagher. Gallagher's stats puts him amongst the best, if not the best, midfielder at this current point in time in all of Europe. In all 7 leagues, that is even the weaker leagues,
yeah.
where the midfielders have
Yeah,
more
Bobby, we have
opportunity.
reserved the Gallagher talk for we have we will talk about that in detail. Let's talk about the transfers
Yeah,
because we don't have too much time. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I just had to mention it because
Yeah, I know it's
that's
important, and I'm seeing that myself. I think we have a show plan for
that
that. We'll talk about that in detail where we
that
review
that
the season so
that
far.
tran
Yeah.
that transcends into the transfers. You see, we're assuming that we need certain players in certain positions, whereas we probably already have those players in those positions. It's just they are unfit. Look, now we've got another injury to Malo Gusto. Please, God, let it not be a long one. I mean, people are talking about some sort of lateral cruciate something, and they say it's minor. But anytime you talk of knee injuries,
Hmm.
the immediate initial talk is minor. Then the next thing you know, the guy's out for a couple of months. So we don't need that. We need a full run of players. So coming back to Raphinha, do we need Raphinha? In the cold heart of day, he's a good player, but at this current point in time, I'll say no.
All right. Thank you so much, Bobby. I'll come back to you in a bit. Good evening to you too, Agile Indicator. Appreciate you. And Eugene saying, I don't see a Vini or Rodri go on the bench, two best wingers in the world after Mbappe. So it will be Mbappe or Haaland, in my opinion. You just remember I told you this. If Real Madrid, if they truly do want Haaland, it doesn't stop them from getting Mbappe. They can get them both. That's who Madrid are. If the as a result of having both players, any other player becomes, you could say, surplus to requirement, yeah, they sell that player. That's who they are. Okay, well done. So I'd agree to you. I'd agree to you. Chelsea Godfather, AFCON shouldn't be a concern. Here's why. I'm gonna explain this. Every other year, okay. Most injuries last longer than AFCON. Victor and Jackson would do, please. Here's the thing. I like them both, but here's my explanation. We're not there yet. We're not, you can say, well rehearsed. We don't have a squad that's as strong as the squad we had at the time. Well, I said the time we had SCN, Mikel, Solomon Kalou, Didier Drogba. Am I missing anybody? We could lose even more, two more international, making them six internationals, and still be one of the strongest teams in the league at the time. But right now, we don't have the luxury. Look how much we miss Nkunku. Look how much we miss James whenever he gets injured. If Enzo gets injured, we're in trouble. If Jackson isn't playing, forget about. I get it. A lot of people don't like him that much right now, but if he gets injured, we're in trouble. So that's my point. You can't pay. It doesn't make sense to pay premium for Osimhen, and then whenever African comes around, you can say we'll lose him and Jackson in the same at the same time, even if it is for 2 weeks. That's a lot, given the fact we're not even sure whether we'll be able to achieve a European place by the time the season ends. If you get my point, I'm just concerned. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. At the moment, if we lose a single player, it's a huge issue. So we don't have the sort of squad we had at the time when we would lose 6, 7 players, and 6, 7 international, and still be mopping the floor with our Premier League opponents. That's just my opinion. But if the owners feel like they can still do it and we're fine, let them do it. I'm here to support my club, but I'm quite sure you understand my point of view in this case. But nice to see you, my brother. I hope you did well, and I cannot wait for our collab to happen. And please, if you're watching, go check out Chelsea Godfather's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. And if you're a member here and you own a YouTube channel, you know what to do. And especially if you're a moderator already, I don't need to remind you, share the link to your YouTube channel. And when I get to it, I will read it out. And I encourage people to go check it out. Bobby, our DJ, saying big up to you and big up to you too, my bro. I hope you're doing well. No need for
big up,
Raphinha.
DJ.
Yep. No need for Raphinha, Nkunku, and Chukwuemeka, all attackers who are coming back. Plus Nani. Plus, if we need to add to the number of players we already have now, it should be our plan should be to bring back Angela Gabriel at the end of the season and Raphinha. Raphinha is way too one-dimensional in my opinion. Let's see. We Osimhen with Osimhen's passion within our team. Okay, I'm not sure. I think that's a bit jumbled up there. Chelsea Godfather, totally agree. We don't need Raphinha. We also got Nani who can play on the right. I'd rather Nani too. Yeah, in my opinion, but that's just me. I'm saying Poch makes a Gallagher as good as as good. Okay, he covers his bad ability, but we will be better if we have better players. That's my opinion. Nobody can hate you, and you are entitled to your opinion. And Gallagher is getting better, and I like that. And he can only become even more better, in my opinion. He's showing great signs. Even wow, I have watched that Manchester City games more than 10 times now. But wow, I have to say Gallagher was our best midfielder on the day, in my opinion. But we're here to talk about transfers right now. We'll talk about Gallagher on a separate show where we'll start reviewing the players so far this season. The Gusto injury could be the reason why we're being linked with Raphinha. I remember him playing at right back for Leeds for a few games. So maybe this is just a lazy journalism. Big up, Coach. The beautiful game. That may well be the case. Or maybe it could be just a recycling of old news, just as Eugene mentioned there. I saw it on ESPN and I had to go look at it. I'm not sure what to make of it right now. Great there. Nice to see you, Adebayo Makunju. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. I hope you're doing well. People having a good conversation there. Okay, no low block team. So I am confident we can win all 3 matches. I think things have turned around for good for us, in my opinion. But we'll see. Angelo is a better player than Raphinha, and that's my exact opinion. That's exactly what I want us to do. I'd rather we bring him back than sign Raphinha. Raphinha is way too one-dimensional for me. I know I've heard people compare Angelo to Raphinha, but no, I think he's a more, you say he's more complete player than Raphinha is, in my opinion. But we move on from that. Yep. Let's see. I don't think I read your comments through. That's my Chelsea bias in play. We don't need a player that previously rejected us. Part of it that may well, you can say that's a chance subconsciously that's the driver behind that opinion there. But I don't know. Big up to you too, JC. Always nice to see you. And chat, I can't complain. Enjoying the international break. I hope I can, but I have a lot going on. I don't think I'd have the time to even take a break. Let's see what else we have here. And the Maya Fawole, let's get Werner back. Nope, I don't want Werner back at Chelsea. And I think I read something to the effect of that he can leave Leipzig in January. He hasn't been able to replicate the form he showed before we signed him from Leipzig. Unfortunately, I am hearing he wants to leave the club. No, they want him to leave. That's what I heard. Why Raphinha when we have Palmer? Not just Palmer. I think Palmer can play as a 10. I think we need more players in terms of the right wing area and left wing actually. But I don't think Raphinha is the guy. Noni isn't breaking into that team anytime soon. We'll find out. I think he's still there. He seriously needs a good loan. He isn't playing now without Carney and Nkunku out. He needs to head out of or learn of his own good. But we'll find out whether he needs that. There's still a long way to go. We'll find out. But boy, we have a strong squad. And I want depth. What should people think about Marcus Leonardo, the Brazilian 20-year-old center forward? I don't know him, and I'm not into pretending I know a player. If anybody else in the chat knows the player in question, educators. Raphinha will stop Angelo's development. Can only okay, you can only see a deal happen if we are adding experience to the team. That makes sense, but that experience for me shouldn't be Raphinha, in my opinion, and that's how I see it. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 23 likes. We should be doing better than that. Let's not start talking about bad on Werner. I don't think he's a bad player. I saw a report to that effect saying that Leipzig wants him to leave in January, and that's down to the fact that he's not been able to replicate the sort of form he showed before Chelsea signed him. But that's just me, and I don't think we're actually seriously. I don't think we're interested in signing Ivan Ferguson from Brighton. I think that's just them. You can say, should I say, priming? You can say the platform so that if we come knocking, it'd be that we've already heard that they're not going to let him go for cheap, and that's because they already value him more than they did for Moises Caicedo, in my opinion. But I don't think we need him. Loved Werner the way he took a humor making that advertisement prank with the Jorginho and Mount. I don't even remember that. And Mount. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes still go a long way. We're moving to the next item we have lined up. Let's go for it, people. 24 likes. We should be doing better than that. All right, I think this one will interest Bobby. Let's hear what Bobby has to say with this one. Let me read the comment, the report. It says that football's lawmakers are to consider trials of sin beans. Sin beans. This is the first time I'm hearing this term, sin beans, for dissent in professional competition and adopting rugby's rule where only the captain can approach the referee as part of a drive to tackle misbehavior. I think it makes sense for the captain to be the only one to approach the referee and you can say present concerns and listen to the referee's reason for certain calls and all that. Bobby, I don't know if you have anything to add to this one, but for me, I think it makes sense.
Well, that's the sort of sin bin system is something that comes up in rugby. It's a rugby union rule. I don't know. There's football's football, and all these additional measures to try and I don't know whether it's to improve the game or what. I wouldn't be a fan of that. I think it will disrupt the flow of the game. It will take away the rhythm from teams too much. We have enough disruptions with VAR before we can now even celebrate a goal. And if we then start having players having to sit on the sideline or sit on the bench for 5 minutes or 10 minutes to serve a mini ban and then come back on, it's just too much activity that will interfere with the flow of the game, in my opinion.
So you don't like this one? I think, in my opinion, I think this is good. I think that it reduces you can say the chaos we see on the pitch, or drama sometimes, for lack of a better language. But Roger is in the house, so let's hear what Roger makes of this. I think the rule I'm for. Yeah, I'm for any rule that you can say lead to only the captain being the one you can say allowed to approach a referee to hear him address his you can say to explain why he's made some certain calls. But I know everybody will not like this, but I think I like this. That part that I just explained. But Roger, let's hear you. What do you make of this? Do you like this? And big up to you, Roger. By the way, I hope you're doing well.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola, Roger.
I just had some food, and I'm looking at your screen, and I see something that makes me want to regurgitate. Yeah, all joking aside, I'm not sure either.
Gosh, yeah.
I haven't really put much thought into it, but I'm not sure we need to go to that extent. But I do understand, this proliferation of all these players gesturing with the card and so forth, and there was a time when the referees were taking an unnecessary amount of abuse, and it should really be, unless the ref talks to a player like, "Hey, do you need the physios on," or something like that, just checking up on him, and that the players should not be really initiating talking to a ref, or at least unless it's very respectful or humorous or something. Other than that, yeah, I mean, the game does need to be cleaned up to a certain extent, especially.
And just to be even more specific, Roger, wouldn't you like a situation where we've seen a lot of, you could say, chaotic situations during games where every player wants to be the one to talk to the referee? It can be confusing. Honestly, I'm all for us having a rule where only the captain gets to speak with the referee, or except if the referee calls you as a player, then you go and ask him. I think that reduces you can say what we've seen of late. It has happened in how many games? 2 games now. That reduces it to you can say a good extent, in my opinion. But let's hear you. You were talking. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, it's listen. I think there's more important things that we need to sort out within the game. But I do agree with. I'm not sure about a sin bin. I'm really not. I don't think it's warranted. I think that the ref has 2 cards in his pocket, and I think they're not shy in using them. If a player or players step over that boundary, so
exactly.
But, yeah, I don't think it's necessary to add a sin bin, but I do believe that maybe the PGMOL needs to maybe put out next season, or let's say that starting January, that maybe they could implement new rules to basically state that, listen, you can't be approaching a ref anymore. That's it. We still see it. We still see players, and Chelsea players included, that are still gesturing for the card for our opposing player to be carded, where we're getting carded ourselves. So I don't know. Listen, we've already shown, when you look at the last game we just played, we're already showing ill discipline, and we're getting unnecessary bookings ourselves. So we want these players to stay on the field as much as possible. So,
well, a sin bin certainly wouldn't help keeping players on the
yeah,
field
exactly.
until they
Yeah,
can come back.
yeah, exactly.
Can I just add to this? I mean, look,
Yeah, go ahead.
as you rightly said, I think you said it in one sentence. The referee has 2 cards that they're not shy in using.
Yeah.
Football is an emotional sport. And, I think we're I don't know, maybe we can never change this, but we're ever living in a society that wants to control, limit, and restrain everything. For all intents and purposes, most of these sports that we love and enjoy, these are men's games. You have to allow the adrenaline and the testosterone to flow. There's got to be a little bit of aggression, a little bit of argy-bargy without there being open violence in the game. And if a player approaches a referee a bit too much, then he and all the match officials, there's the match report after the game, which leads to penalties to players. The referee has cards that he can brandish. You can end up with 7 players on the field if you're not careful the way you approach a referee. So I don't see the point. Now we want to go and add sin bins. Sin bins fits rugby where they have
Yeah.
15 players. And the
I mean,
flow and
15
manner of the
players?
game is such that
Yeah.
if one player comes off one team, you don't really notice until that phase of play actually is involving that player. And, it doesn't impact the game. Whereas in football, if a player comes off for 5 minutes and then he's back on again, the entire flow and rhythm of the game could be completely disrupted. And for what? Because you want to further control and police the game. No, we have to allow emotions. In my opinion, anyway, I just think we've dampened things so much that any further dampening, we're not watching the game that I was brought up with. That's for sure. No tackles, no. I mean, come on, man. After a while, you're just, what is this? I'm not saying we should injure each other. We've improved the game with better pitches. We've got VAR that's even making a bigger mess where we're doing this, allow people a little bit of passion, a little bit of opportunity to let off steam. If not, what's the point?
Yeah, I think I did read something saying they're trying to see again, working to automate the offside VAR rules and all that. Yeah,
they probably will.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, it's not rocket science, but the world has achieved something more difficult than that, in my opinion. But let's give those in the chat the microphone. I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Coachella, I agree. Verna, Farmer not being good since his return. Yeah, unfortunately for him. And Patrick Quadzo, Renat says a big up to you, bro. Let's keep hope in our players that it's going to be good. To trust the process. I think a lot of people are beginning to trust the process, even though those never did. Now they are. Big up, just saying big up to Mitchell Boy. Come on, people, smash the like button and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 27 likes, but we should be doing better than that because we're 47 minutes into the show. 27 likes, it's just not enough. Lawmakers are going to need a huge beans. Yeah, in the building. Gavin, nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. Gavin, I hope you're doing well. You know what to do. Share the link to your YouTube channel so people can go check it out. Coach, I like the discussion. It's good to behave well, but can you please remove that picture? Yeah, you're not looking at it again. I didn't put it there. Roger did a tapping on you. Yeah, maybe he saw that. Let's see. 25 likes. Yep, we can do better than these. Big up, Roger. Please don't get sick, bro. Things are not that bad. Yeah.
Hey, DJ.
Yeah, and not because of that man on the screen, by the way. Let's see anything else. Keep dropping the likes on the screen, people. The likes do go a long way. And big up to you too, Lin Man. Nice to see you, Mr. Lin Man. I hope you're doing well. Let's see anything else. Okay, it's tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Can I add one thing to?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's going to open up another page to discussions, but there are 2 things, and there's something that I've just noticed watching the Chelsea Unseen flicks that's making me now really speak out again against Man City. Do you realize that their fans were throwing flares on the pitch? Now,
I didn't
why
know
is
that. I
that
didn't
not
see.
a
I didn't see
thing?
that. Yeah.
No, I've seen it just now. The club should be facing some penalties. Man City have 115 financial charges. This has been over 12 months. They haven't answered one. Why isn't anybody asking this question? Why is this now no longer a topic? And now we have an issue where in a game, because why I bring this up is that somebody was trying to bring up something about Raheem Sterling, oh, FA is looking into blah, de, blah, de, blah. Yet nobody actually saw any footage of anything of him
Yeah.
doing anything. So, you know, that just sounded and seemed a bit suspicious. But I'm seeing really on camera flares coming from Man City fans onto the pitch. Why isn't this an issue of discussion? You see, there are many things going on sometimes in football that I think our focus should be on rather than talking about trying to take away the passion of the game. I'm not talking about you, Coach, because you're just dealing with the topic. But I'm just talking about the fact that that is even mentioned at all, taking away the passion in terms of sin bins. Let's deal with the penalties that we haven't dealt with already. We have a club with 115 financial charges and not answered them in 12 months. And we have a game that was perhaps, well, is called the best game in the Premier League this season. And their fans have thrown flares on the pitch and nobody has said anything. And there is a financial penalty to a club that does that. I just had to bring that up because that shouldn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, it shouldn't, and I agree with you. Let's see what else we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes to go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. No Raphinha, no Raphinha, or whatever his name is. Yes, I need to catch up on some cricket. Okay, go ahead and join. Why did I even read that with so much energy? Big up, coach, a panel, and everyone. Phil Sips, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And please, if you're watching, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 28 likes. We can do much, much better, people. We reached 120 plus the last time we streamed. Also, I think 121 of the first time since the transfer window shut. Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go longer. Please show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing the content on your preferred social media platform. Let's hit 18K subscribers as soon as possible. We're getting there closer and closer. But Droba and Kalu were both heading to AFCON back in the days. Let me ask you this question. And I need an answer from you. I'm sure I know why you're saying that, because I'm concerned that right now, if we sign Osimhen or even Victor Boniface or whoever, or even Gurasi, how do you pronounce his name, that are top African strikers, are really, really good players, that would lose them every time AFCON comes around. And my concern is that we're not as strong as we were at the time when we had Kalu, we had DJ Joba, we had Mikel Obi, Michael Essien, correct me if I'm missing any name. Would lose even 8 players and still be the strongest squad in the league at the time. But right now, if we miss even Jackson, even if you think he's not been doing well, we're in serious trouble.
Yeah, but coach, can I just add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
If Osimhen does turn out to be another Drogba, let's say hypothetically, if we lose him for it's about 2 weeks, I believe, because it used to
4
be
weeks. It's a month plus.
Yeah, but don't forget, it's played. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am. But I believe it's because the Premier League is now instituting a winter break. They did it last year for the first time, and so in effect, we're not really losing them for 4 weeks. We're losing them for 2 weeks. So if that is indeed the case, then you know what? If this player is to be the next Drogba incarnate, then I have no problem with that. However, right. I do have an issue.
Do you understand my point?
Yeah, but I don't think it's as bad as it is. But my only concern is, what does that do for if we do sign him? It doesn't turn out to be a Drogba. What does that do for the development of Broja and even Jackson?
I'm not even sure. We can have them all.
Well, sure, we can have a 40-man roster, but doesn't help us, Coach.
This overlaps to a point I made with Coach earlier on.
You want that to happen again? Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
Yeah, I've said this sort of underlines the point I made earlier on. I think we're at a stage where we need to. Our first focus is to get our injuries back.
Yes.
We need to get the team, the injured players back, the team rehearsed and integrated. Why am I saying this? Because we've got a lot of players that we don't understand their value. Conor Gallagher has proved that. You know, we had a diamond, a midfield maestro, really, in our midst, and our fan base were calling for him to go because he came on as a developing player in a disorganized team with a bad coach. Now he's with a good coach in a more organized system, and he's showing his worth. And there are many of them. Carney Chukwuemeka, before he went off injured, he proved himself to be a vital player in the team. We haven't seen Nkunku, we haven't seen Lavia. Brozier is, for all intents and purposes, an excellent striker, and he keeps showing flashes. Problem with Brozier is that he doesn't stay fit for long enough. So we need to make sure that he stays fit. Look, if we have our players back, we have an unprecedented number of injuries. I keep saying this, and this creates a skewed image of the team, and a misunderstood image of the team. And what we do when we have all these players out injured and we don't really, especially the ones we don't know well, we start packing players into the squad and then we overpack the squad, just like we did last season. Injuries got us to bring in people like that guy from Juventus and the other one from Atletico Madrid, and they were all deadwood anyway. And they added to the excessive numbers of the team. So our focus needs to be to get the players back, see what we've got in real time before we start with additions. Now that doesn't mean to say that it's not mouth-watering to have Osimhen or to have Nkunku, what's Nkunku? Ivan Toney in the team. Of course it is. They are excellent strikers, but we might find that we don't need them.
Yes.
This is the thing, and with our injuries back, we'll probably have enough. Now, coach's concern is the AFCON, and I fully get that.
Yeah.
And you can't compare the squad depth now with what we had during the days of Essien, Mikel, Deco. Our midfield, Balak, Lampard. Our midfield was phenomenal in terms of squad depth. Essien, Mikel, and I don't know which other African we had in the midfield back then.
We had Solomon Kalou.
Kalou was a striker.
Yeah,
but
four
all of
top
them
players. I'm probably forgetting. I don't know if I'm forgetting any. It was
the two main.
Same from same from the same country, Ivory Coast. Mikel, Nigeria.
And Essien. Now the two main
Ghana,
strikers.
four at least.
The two main strikers players in shared positions, Essie and Mikel midfield, we had enough in depth to do without them for a month. In the striking department, Drogba and Kalou, did we have enough? Drogba is irreplaceable.
At one time, we had Anelka. We had with the two of them.
We had Anelka. We had enough to manage for a month, which really is about maybe 2, if you're lucky, 3, max 4 games. So we had that squad depth. Now, at the moment, our injuries doesn't even let us see the squad depth we have. Now, when Brozier's back, we have rotation. Okay, if Jackson goes away, Brozier can play a run of 4 games that he probably needs already if he can stay fit. Do you see what I'm saying? And Nkunku can have a run in the striking position until Jackson gets back. So that is squad depth in itself. So I think we're in a comfortable position. We shouldn't rush, and I don't think Pochettino will rush. And if anything, what this 4-4 draw with Man City has done is given us faith in ourselves. You know, let's develop ourselves. Let's allow ourselves. You know, do you know, of all the things that happened in that game, do you know what pleased me the most? We took off Reece James after 64 minutes. That's discipline. Because
Yeah,
in the past we would have kept him on for 90 because we would have been so desperate to
100.
try and get something out of the game. And that would have been wrong. And we trusted Malagusto, rightly so. We exercised our squad depth. So now, by default, dare I say, Pochettino has come to be very familiar with his second tier of players. So now, in fact, he knows the first tier less than the second tier, to be honest. He knows Jackson more than Nkunku. He knows, you know what I mean? So now time will start to get these players together. The rhythm will come. Enzo will get himself back in form. Not that he's ever out of form. I don't think he did badly at all. I just think tactics required that he needed to be changed, as with Caicedo. They all need time with the
And
team.
probably wasn't fully fit.
Yeah, I don't think he was either, you know, and
Yeah.
it's annoying me that he's going on international break. So, you know, all these players, they need this full season together. And I don't think we need much at all. And do you know what? I'm beginning to wonder if we need a new goalkeeper at all. Because what I saw of Robert Sanchez, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I wasn't disappointed.
No,
Even though he conceded 4 goals, I can't blame him.
but one's a
Ju-
PK, one's a deflection. So
Yeah. You know, so it just shows we need that time, and I hope we get that time. And if come January we find Osimhen hasn't walked through the door, we shouldn't panic. And come summer, if we really want Osimhen, we'll get Osimhen, whoever is the competition.
can I
Listen,
quickly? Can I? Okay.
yeah, I'm not panicking. I'm just it's a concern for me, and that's why. And it's a good conversation to have to know that yeah, if you think okay, we'll be fine, but remember, we're not at the same as the squad we had at the time when we missed 6, 7, 8, 9 international and still be the best team in the league. But go ahead, Roger. You were saying something.
Yeah, yeah. I want to ask. I heard
I'll be
about
right back. I'll be
I
right
heard
back.
about Gusto. I heard it was an MCL, but they didn't um, explain whether it was a strain or a partial tear. That's a
It, it
big
was
difference.
it was a lateral
Yeah, it's a medial lateral
uh,
ligament,
uh,
collateral ligament, right?
cruciate. A lateral cruciate, either strain or minor tear. That's the word. It was
No,
a
that's a
minor
big
tear.
difference. Oh, so it's a minor tear then.
Yeah. Now,
Oh,
that still concerns me. Yeah, exactly.
that's not good.
Exactly. You know, that still concerns me because these things, okay, it may mean it's only maybe 2-3 months, but 2-3 months without gusto is a long time when you have you're still nursing Reece James. The only saving grace we have is that Cucurella can play there as well and plays better on the right than the left. So we've got that, and then we can now shift people like Levi Colwill in there and then bring on Badia Shield. But wherever patching up the team, do you see what I'm saying? You
So
look at
hold on,
people.
Bobby. Is it
Mm,
is it an LCL or is it an MCL? Which one was it?
I think it's an LCL.
Okay, okay.
It
Is
was a
that
lateral ligament.
Gus's injury? What are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
Gusto's
Gusto's injury.
injury.
Yeah,
It
there's
was a it was a
something
lateral
about
ligament.
ligament, but they say it's minor.
Yeah, it was a minor tear. But coach, you know what I mean. It's minor. Look, they said Carney was minor. Do you know?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And Carney's been out for a long
just like
time.
a heart attack. There's no such thing as a minor heart attack.
Exactly, exactly. I don't think we need that anymore. I mean, I looked at Man City. They still have a luxury of players. They are so stacked that they were stacked enough to take what's that new guy they got that we were after, Gvardiol, from the central midfield defensive
Hmm.
area and put him in the left back area. That's how stacked they are. We don't have that luxury. We've never had that luxury in 3 years, and not that we don't have the players, But our players are on the injury table, and we need to get them on the pitch before we start knowing exactly where we are. So, Gusto, okay, maybe we can just about get him fit and manage without him, but anything more than that, no. We don't need any more. Gosh, we don't need any more. You know, I really thank God the Sassy. I understand he didn't go on international break.
No, he went. I think he let it went.
Oh, he went in the end. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think so. Let's catch up with what we have in the chat. We have a lot lined up. This saying clearly, the officials looked at the Spurs game and said, "How can we avoid giving Chelsea 2-man advantage in the future?" So some idiot came up with this bright idea. Our players will still get red. Yeah, it doesn't stop players from getting red. I think I just don't want. I hate to see players crowd the referee. Sometimes it does. It looks like it just makes it seem as if the game isn't organized. In my opinion, that's the part I wanted. I want them to implement a rule that allows only the captain to approach the referee. And every other player can if he beckons them. Coach, we are
That
victims
rule
of our own.
exists, Coach. It does
Sorry,
exist.
Yeah,
The
it
rule
does.
exists. It's just the referee has
does
to
it?
enforce
So why
it.
is it sounding like it's something new?
Because
Nothing
the
new.
most referees don't enforce it. The rule is there.
Oh, I see.
That's why I jumped on the point that Roger made. That look, they have two cards that they use indiscriminately sometimes, and if they're being crowded by players, they can yellow cards, they can even red card if it's that
Mhm.
insulting enough. So the
Wasn't
rule
it?
is there.
Wasn't it implemented like 2-3 seasons ago?
It was. It
Yeah.
was. And I think that's what I'm saying in a match report. A club can face players can be fined based on what comes out in the match report about how I mean, clubs have been we've been fined once because of our players approaching the referee. So those rules exist. It's about implementing them in terms of the
Hmm.
boundaries of the rules that exist already.
Mhm. So implementation is all yeah, they haven't done. Coach, we are victims of our own success because we will sign the kind of elite African players that would likely play for the whole duration of Africa. And if anybody says that's not a problem, it has always been an issue. We've always heard clubs complaining how they hate losing players. Now we need them. Now they're not here. Napoli is doing that. Chelsea has done that. What other club again? I can't remember. But Chelsea mainly in the Premier League. I've always complained how AFCON hasn't helped, but we had a good squad at the time. Even the absence of those players and questions weren't so much of a problem at the time. Coach, I asked many panelists on YouTube, so can I ask our channel panelists too, which one of the two decisions is more questionable, refusing to pay 3 million for Kukurea or two paying 55 million for Mount? Oh my gosh, why are you bringing this? You just knew
What
you
was that?
knew I wasn't gonna skip it. You just want to distract us right now. Roger, go ahead. I'll leave that one for you. Go ahead, you start.
I
If
don't
you want to
understand the
answer.
question. It's like two decisions is more questionable. Refusing to pay 3 million for Cucurella. What does that mean? When did we refuse to pay 3 million for Cucurella?
Because
I think
United
that they're
wanted them.
referring to Man United,
Yeah.
saying that they didn't want to loan
So yeah,
Cucurella.
or two, they're paying 55 million for Mount. All about Man United.
I think Man United's problem is not really the players. I think they have problems that come from the board, and it's transcended to the coaching staff, and it's transcended now to the players. I don't think their issue is whether they bought Cucurella could have gone there and had a stinker of a season the way the team is right
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about
So
Cucurella going out on loan to
yeah,
United
that's
oh,
right.
okay,
It
2
was
million.
sure.
Yeah. Or them paying 55 million for
yeah,
Mount.
and they
Obviously the
decided
latter.
they decided they didn't want Cucurella in the end, and I think they went for what's the name of that guy that was at Tottenham and he was once rumored with us.
At one point Chelsea wanted him and
Yeah,
really preached for Chelsea to sign him.
yeah,
What's his
he's
name
there
again?
now.
He's Spanish, right? He's Spanish, I guess. He's
Yeah,
Spanish.
yeah. I always forget his
What
name, but
position are you guys talking about?
left back,
Left
left
back.
back, left back.
Not
Oh gosh,
sure.
what's his name?
Regulion.
Reguilon. Yeah, Reguilon's there now.
Yeah.
But, as I've said, Man United, they have many players. They have many good players. They have some old players. They have some young players. I mean, Hoyland, all these people, Rashford. They don't have a bad squad. They just have bad chemistry at the moment. So
They're not
whether or not
clicking
they...
at all. Bobby,
Yeah.
I've watched like 3/4 of their games this season. They look so poor, thankfully.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not they had Cucurella, I don't think it helps. And you see, another thing about this thing is when you have a bunch of players all on excessive wages, you have a problem of having players that are there for the money and not necessarily for the team. And then how do you get them? Do you know what I mean? You have now. Now I'm not saying this of Mason Mount. I'm sick of the discussion of Mason Mount, but Mason Mount came through Chelsea, where for all intents and purposes he was Chelsea. And then, as far as I'm concerned, he went to Man United because his wages were more than doubled what he was apparently offered at Chelsea. Now, is he really there for anything other than the bag? I think the bag is a big part of it. And does that give you that same level of commitment? Probably not. So they've got a mishmash of that, and that's their problem, not ours. And I really couldn't give a stuff. But I think it's all part of what they're suffering now, and indeed what the manager's dealing with.
All right, thanks so much. I think I agree with you. I read that Gusto and Cowell have withdrawn from international duties. Are the injuries minor or major? For Gusto, certainly minor, we've been told, but you know what minor means once we're talking about a Chelsea player, according to Bobby. That will impact our season since James is not yet fit to play 70 minutes. I think Gusto will be fine.
Colwell injury is minor, I believe.
It's minor
because
too.
He had a shoulder injury. It will stop you from playing. Certainly, it will stop him from playing in the internationals for sure. But it's not something that is going to be months and months and
It's
months.
precautionary. I was.
Yeah.
I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas you're talking of ligament damage. I think that's a little bit more scary.
Substantial, and it's weight bearing, obviously, right?
Yeah, and here's the thing: if you're in the chat, I will let you know when to ask questions. If we keep taking questions while we still have all the items lined up to discuss, it's going to cause a lot of problem. We're not going to even get to the items, but I'm going to do you a favor. Let's take this one, Roger, specifically directed to you. Hello, Roger. Do you believe there's a good chance that Sterling can consistently deliver at that level? I still have significant reservations about his ability to remain consistent. Just quickly, I'm going to say this. Let me make it even more difficult for Roger. I think the more we gel, the more consistent Sterling will become. Then that is the less you see his deficiencies, because even it's just as it would now be something similar to when he was at Man City. You rarely see his deficiencies at the time. Yeah.
Well, yeah, yes and no. Here's the
go
deal.
ahead.
If he got up for this game because it was because of he wants to show A, that he can be a viable addition to the England squad, and B, that he wanted to show City what they're missing. If that's the case, then I find that actually unacceptable, because he should be playing with this psychological aspect, with this mental fortitude.
No, I'm just saying what I think will happen.
No.
I'm not, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, though, this should be his mindset each and every game, not just against his old club. That makes it even worse, in my opinion, which means he hasn't been given his 100%. So I'm pleased to see that he has this in the bag, but then this begs the question: why can't you do this more consistently? It doesn't have to be a 9 out of 10 display each week. Obviously, that's asking too much, but at least improve on what you have been doing week in, week out, because if anything, he's been so inconsistent, which begs the question: why can he not do this consistently? And that, to me, I find disconcerting.
Yeah, I think his performance has to measure how much he earns at the club. He's our top earner right now, isn't he?
Commensurate with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Roger has addressed that one. Eto, let's not forget him. Yeah, he was one of us at the time, but I think by the time he joined us, he's resigned from international football. In my opinion, I
Oh,
can't quite
Daniel? Yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Gallagher's agent on the panel. He's displaying a minerals level of prop for the Roadrunner. We get it. Just go away. Let's see what else we have here. And DJ saying that Leo star Jonathan Davis price has fallen to 40 million euros from 60 million euros, and Milan will attempt a January move. Reports a Sky Italia. Lille are unlikely to sell him in the winter. You love him too much. Even when I started as a content creator 2-3 years ago, that was when DJ started preaching for Chelsea to go get Jonathan David. Wow. And CFC Gavin has shared the link to his YouTube channel. Please go check out his YouTube channel, subscribe. Let's help him grow. He's a supporter of the community here, a member of the community, and also a very nice individual. And whenever time allows, I think he will join us on the panel here. I actually forgot to add him to the panelist group. People having some conversation here. I can't just go what's the center back's fault, and the goal Haaland scored with his whatever you mentioned. Sanchez Sanchez isn't gonna want to put his gloves anywhere near that. Otherwise, had he tried that, he'd get 10 yellow cards, 10 red cards, in my opinion. But his thing, I think, yeah, none of the goals were his fault. None of the goals was his fault.
To be honest
he did
with
his
you,
best, yeah.
To be honest with you, I thought Disasi had possibly his best game in a Chelsea shirt. However,
he was excellent on the day. Yeah.
However, that should have been that. He was in a prime position to intercept that. That ball should never been allowed to reach Haaland. To be honest with you.
Yeah, the goals in totality weren't his fault. None was his fault. I think he was excellent. And I will not forget that carpet shot he stopped, Haaland's carpet shot that he stopped. I thought that was a goal.
Yeah, so did I.
I thought that was a goal.
When
but
he opened up,
the reflex and the fact that it was on the carpet and closed. Wow,
and
low and hard too.
For a big goalkeeper, that's hard to do. He got down really fast, which he hasn't done previously. If you've noticed, some of his concessions have been low on the ground. So I thought he did. That was, to me, that was a game-saving save, because that could have spelled trouble for us. I thought
it could have, it could have. But that game, there's no telling what could have happened too, because we were behind 3 times.
Yeah, there was 4 lead changes.
Yeah, exactly. So I've never seen any game like this. I have to be honest. Even that Everton game, Chelsea Everton under Mourinho, nothing close to this. Nothing close to this one because it wasn't.
I remember the Ajax game, Chelsea Ajax.
The Ajax game too was high scoring too, but it wasn't nothing close to this one. In my opinion, he seems like someone who thrives on motivation. Elite players tend to be disciplined, irrespective of circumstances or quality. I think he might lack. Who is he referencing? I'm not quite sure. Regulian was the player we were thinking at the time. And Pedro Granja, nice to see you. Where Nkunku could fit anywhere across the front line, essentially, right or left or even number 9. He actually said he sees himself as a number 9. So, he fits in quite a lot of places, in my opinion, except for as a deep line midfielder, he doesn't. I just hope they don't sack Ten Hag until we've slapped them. I don't think they will sack him. They're not into sacking, in my opinion. I haven't heard anything that indicates that indicates they want to sack him. Let's see what else we have here. Coachella, this is a problem with Panenka penalties. If the coordination lags, the mistiming can make one look either a genius or a bad idea. Yeah, and I remember one for Conor Gallagher. Mason Mount, that also played a major part in getting him to United, being a fan himself of United. However, I agreed the wages was the major reason for leaving. As much as I like you and Bobby, I still say just your opinions. In my own opinion, that's just your opinion. Would like to see Cherki. I want to see him too. Do I think it will happen? I'm not too sure, but we'll find out. Breaking news: Irma Hayes officially named U.S. Women's National Team coach. Congratulations to her. I hope she wins the World Cup with them. They have some squad there. If you have Rich James teeing up your shots on a regular, Starling should bang in. It should bang every game. To be fair, yeah, I think it does well. Let's move on to the next item we'll have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Unfortunately, that's the one that pops up, but don't worry, we'll move on from it in a second. Yeah, my screen is frozen. Why? I do not know. Just give me a second. Let's go. All right. Chelsea are still considering whether to move for a striker in January. It's likely to depend on the form of Nicholas Jackson, Christopher Nkunku, and Amanda Broya. I said this a million times. Nothing new there. I've said this 1,000 times. I don't even need to see this report to say that. We've been saying that for about a month now. That Chelsea signing a new striker, especially one that will cost us a premium, comes down to how well these guys mentioned on the screen there, how well they do. Yeah, because Nkunku sees himself as a striker. Jackson also can perform as a number 9, but he's not a traditional number 9. We all know that. And then you have Amanda Broya. So why should we waste money? Just go to the market and sign players if come January they're doing well? I don't know. If anybody else on the panel has anything to add to this, you go ahead. You have the floor.
About Osimhen.
Yeah, about signing strike in January. Just I think that's the point here.
So
ask whether to move for a striker in January. So yeah, go ahead.
So there's two trains of thought for me. One, I don't think we've given enough opportunity and consistency for both Broya and Jackson. Jackson obviously far more so, but also I think there's no guarantee that Osimhen coming from that league. I'm a little bit gun shy from the Italian Serie A league because a lot of people that play in that league come over here and do not succeed, and vice versa. Players that have been so-so in the Premier League have gone over there, like the former Chelsea striker, and has played out of his mind. So I'm still a little bit gun shy on that. I really am, and for a lot of money we're talking about serious dollars. So I'm not sure, and it impedes the progress. So I'm not really sure. But having said that, the one thing that really doesn't sell me, that I'm 100% sold on Jackson, is the fact that he's not a natural striker, and the fact that he can't head the ball. That's a serious problem, because we do cross the ball with height, and it's pointless if that's the case, because he needs to improve aerially. Otherwise, to me, he's not going to be an elite striker ever.
Can I add something to this?
Of course you may.
Yeah, sure, Bobby.
You see, this comes back to what I was saying about
and you did say it very well. Go ahead.
About players being fit. We have not seen the permutations, the abilities, and the run of the strikers we have. We've just seen flashes. We've seen flashes of Broja. By the way, people forget Jackson is not a striker. He's a supporting striker. And he showed how effective he was. For a few moments, when we got that penalty, he was part of that.
He made a great run. Yeah.
Took, I've forgotten the name of that, City defender away, such that by the time Broja got the ball, he was scrambling back to tackle Broja and overreached, thereby sweeping Broja. I think we need to see these guys all fit and all playing together sometimes, different combinations of them. I think they are very good strikers in combination and in rotation, and we've not had that opportunity. So it's not that any of these strikers we're linked with are bad, but we don't know what we've got. We've not really had a taste of what we've got. And somebody was saying something earlier about as the team gets better, so does Sterling. I believe that will be the case. I think when the team is more rehearsed, less onus is put on him, he's able to do better because he's not really that man. Although, to be fair to him, in the past two games, certainly against Tottenham and Man City, he has
So
made
you can say
himself
he's
the
one of our
man.
best players this season.
He certainly, well, in those two games he was, and he's made himself very, very much the reliable striker of his ilk. But yeah, as the team gets fitter, gets more rehearsed, gets more coercive, he will get better because less onus is on him. The team will be doing new things, better things. So I don't know if we need to buy anyone. I really don't. I think what we need to pray for is these guys to come back. And from the side of my eye, I've seen something about Fofana, Wesley Fofana, perhaps getting a little bit closer to his rehabilitation. Not that we should expect him on the pitch anytime soon,
Mhm.
but for him to be doing weights in the gym is a step in the right direction for him. Trouble is with Wesley Fofana is that I think he's an excellent defender. Young, still learning, but a brilliant defender. Problem is, how long does he stay fit? He's worse than Chilwell when it comes to injuries, and that might be the end. That might be the detriment to his career at Chelsea.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bobby, for that. Chelsea 4, Liverpool 4. Let me see if I'm correct. The scores on the day were Ivanovic a header. I think, was it Ivanovic 2 headers? Alex, a thunderbolt free kick.
No, the Ivanovic two headers was in the Liverpool leg. He's referring. The 4-4 was at Stamford Bridge, and yes,
Was
that
that
was an
Stamford?
exciting game.
Was it the
Yeah,
one that Alex scored the thunderbolt free kick?
it was. It was Champions League quarterfinals. It was.
Okay.
That was a good game. Was it as good as this one with Man City? Close, but it was a tremendous game. The one that Lampard got the penalty after his mum died,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, that
I
was the
think this one is
4-4.
special because nobody gave us a chance. You can argue
Yeah,
that this
yeah,
is more special because nobody gives us a chance. Yeah, that's how I see it.
absolutely.
Yeah, that was a special game, one I will never forget. Go ahead, Bobby.
It
Were you
was.
still talking?
No, it was a classic in terms of Champions League games. It really was.
Yeah, it was. Thank you so much, guys. So please subscribe to Chelsea Godfather's YouTube channel. God bless you. Thank you so much for saying that. He shared the link to his YouTube channel. Let's go support him. Go. Let's help him get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Look, we're one here. Selflessness is the reason why we're growing together. It doesn't matter if you own a channel and you're a moderator here, then you've earned the right to share the link to your YouTube channel so that others can go check it out. Please go check out Chelsea Godfather's YouTube channel. Kuchila, who do you think will get most goals this season? Jackson, Starling, Palmer, or Nkunku? I think it's going to be, I think Jackson will get more. And Nkunku joins late, and by the time he will have a lot of, you could say, there will be a lot of gap for him to catch up. But he scored. But we'll find out. I'm not too sure right now, but I'll go with Jackson if I have to choose. I'm not adding that one. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Chelsea Godfather, go check out his YouTube channel. And thank you, Oga, for subscribing to GFC Gavin's YouTube channel. And once more again, this one is a brand new channel. And that is Jerry Z's YouTube channel. It's pinned at the very top. Let's help him get to. Let's start with 100. Let's help him get to 100 subscribers as soon as possible. And my bro, I don't know if anybody's watching. Share the link to our sister channel, Soccer Perspective, where we preview the games, preview and predict games, the outcome of games every week. Every match. you can say a day before the match, before the Premier League games kick off. Let me just leave it at that because let me say every week, like we did the one for week 12, we'll do the one for week 13 after the international break where we predict the games and preview each game. Please, if somebody can help me share the link to our sister channel so that people can go check it out. And let's help Jerry Z get to 100 subscribers as soon as possible. We can do that. The link is pinned at the very top. Yes, let's see what else we have here. Yep, let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. The striker thing is a serious one, but let's see. Well, I don't think we'll go for a striker in January if the players will have they do well enough and are firing on all cylinders. I don't think the club will consider paying premium for a striker in January.
Quickly.
Eli Colwell is expected to leave the England camp later today because of injury. He has a shoulder problem and will return to Chelsea. So he's just not that serious. A shoulder problem, which means he's just returning. I don't know why he shouldn't have traveled in the first place. He should have stayed. But good thing he's withdrawn from the England camp and will now come, you could say, receive treatment. I don't know if that would be the case. And be ready. You say after the international break, be available for selection. Bobby, you wanted to say something?
Yes, please. Thanks for that. Coach, you see, the good thing about the position we're in with this whole striker thing is that clubs are trying to be exploitative. Oh, Chelsea want a striker, right? 100 million, they'll pay. No, I don't think we're going to this time. You know
I
why?
hope not.
We don't need to. And this is why our focus must be to get Brozier fit.
And let me bring you to this one too, Bobby. Look at this one here. If you should I read it for you so you add it to what you're talking about? Tony Bloom is of the belief that Ferguson is now worth even more than former teammate Moses Caicedo, who cost Chelsea 150 million pounds. He's just priming the state so that if in fact we're interested, he's gonna ask us for more. But go ahead with what you were saying.
No.
Yeah.
No, we don't need we have some very good players. It's just that they haven't played. They haven't had their opportunity under Brozier through under Pochettino. Through no fault of Pochettino. It's just injuries. I think the rule of thumb is now Gallagher. I think we need to focus on getting Brozier fit. Once Brozier's fit, once Nkunku's fit, and Jackson is fit, and we're able to have them available, all three in games, I think anybody coming to us talking about 100 million for a striker, you got to be some striker before we drop 100 million for you to knock one of those guys out of shape. Honestly, because we don't need to. And this is the point I really want to stress. And I hope Chelsea, well, they're the experts. The Chelsea sporting directors, the definitely the manager. I can see he knows what he's doing. They need to keep an eye on this because we're beyond being held to ransom now. 115 for Caicedo. Yes, we really needed Caicedo, and I will never regret that till the cows come home. I think we need that player. 106 for Enzo. Yes, we really needed Enzo. But apart from those two, nobody else should be able to hold us to ransom for anybody.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Roger, you want to add anything to that with regards to the Ferguson thing that I just read?
It's farcical. I mean, Evan Ferguson? Come on. Seriously? No, he's... I mean, sure. I mean, you can ask...
Who is he? Is he a striker?
Yeah, but not... You see, Bobby don't even know him. He's just the emerging striker right now in the Premier League. He's hasn't performed consistently, actually.
He just signed a new contract, I believe. And I mean, to me, listen, he could turn out to be a great number 9, but currently, thus far in his career, he's probably worth 20, 30 million. To say 100 million is a joke. It's posturing, or however you want to term it. It's farcical.
Yeah, it is. Well, again, I think I agree with you. Yep. Let's say people just having a conversation. They keep dropping the likes on the stream. Just subscribe. Blue. Yep. Thank you so much. Let's keep supporting each other here. Nkunku not yet to come back in a good way. I think he comes back after the international break. But I don't see him starting. He will get minutes here and there until he is ready. Coach of Ferguson signed a new contract last week. Could be that tweet was a week old. Nope, it's not. The Ferguson tweet isn't a week old. Let's go back to it. What day? Yep, November 14th. That's today. It's not a week old. I think, like I said, they're just priming the stage so that when we say we need, if we say we want him and we're serious, they say, yeah, I just don't want to talk about it because it just doesn't make sense. I get it if they have the product, even though they're Brighton, and the last business we did with them, our fan base, well, we didn't like that, and probably we've heard a lot of people suggesting we shouldn't do business with them again. But the truth remains, if they have any player a player would like, we'd go for that player. And yeah, so it's not recycled news. I think they just promoting, you could say spreading the narrative that he's that good, he's worth that much money, in my opinion. But just by the way, thank you for that. Okay, much love, everybody. Show the love. And Obi-Wan Kenobi is in the house. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join us here. And I know I can quite remember. I think this is the first time I'm seeing you here, brother. Yep, that's the first time I'm seeing you here. But I appreciate you finding the time to join us. I hope you're enjoying the show. And if you have any questions, drop in the chat, and we'll try our best to answer your question. If we cannot, we'll let you know. Mr. Bloom is doing too much. This 100 million Ferguson price tag, I think is crazy. Probably he's seen the rumors that we're interested in signing Ferguson, but I don't think we are. I don't think we need him. Even if we're going to pay a premium for a striker, it'd be a striker that differs from what we have, because it's not that much different from the strikers we have right now. Broya and also Washington, not forgotten, Fofana on loan. I think we're packed in that area. If we're going to sign any striker, not a striker that is of Ferguson's profile. Don't talk about Ferguson. You will make Nigerians angry. Just go away.
He's not a proven elite commodity. Simple as that.
Yeah, he is. But his thing, I think I get his point. The fact remains, my fellow Nigerians are the ones pushing more for the club to go for Victor Osimhen, even without considering his profile. But I think my argument has always been, if the manager feels like he can, you could say, tweak the way he likes to approach the game to accommodate a more traditional striker, I'm fine with it. I just don't want to see Osimhen to join Chelsea and end up regret doing so, and the club also regret paying premium for him, because Osimhen will not come cheap. Even if he has 2 days left on his contract, I'm quite sure we all know who De Laurentiis is, and he's indicated that he's not going to sell Osimhen for cheap, given that report where he said Koulibaly had a few months left on his contract, and you know how much they Napoli are indicating Napoli sold them for. But that's by the way, we move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. We have 39 likes. Come on, people. We should be doing better than that. Let's get the likes up. Let's move. As well as Victor Osimhen, Chelsea also have interest in Brentford striker Ivan Toney, and another potential option is Club Brugge forward Antonio Nusa. How much is Nusa actually? Though he's seen as more of a wide player. Yep, I think I'm going to say this again. If we're going to sign anybody in the name of signing a striker, it should be more of a traditional striker, because we have too many of the hybrid type of strikers. We need to mix it up. Nusa, no, more of a wide player, tells you everything you need to know. As much as again, even that I think is good. Roger, let's talk about this. I am not a fan of traditional strikers, and I'm sure you've heard me say that 1,000 times. And if in fact we want to sign one more striker, we should mix it up. I'm open for us to sign a striker who's more of a traditional striker than a hybrid striker, so that we can mix it up. Let's hear you, Roger. What do you think?
So, okay, let me ask you a question. Kane, would you consider him a prototypical number 9?
No.
I understand though he does come deep, but he is the quintessential number 9.
You could say this, Roger. My definition of a stereotypical striker is driven by the player's attributes. Let me I don't know what other way to phrase it. Kane, for me, is, let me just call him, maybe what we're looking for is an all-round striker, a striker that's capable of dropping deep,
Kane to me is not
in the play.
Kane to me is not a second striker, coach. He's a number 9.
He can play as a point man too.
Right. He's a number 9. However, he does have a propensity to come deep for the ball because he doesn't get the service. A lot of number 9s do that. He's also a great crosser of the ball.
But not every number 9 can do it to a great effect. Not every number 9 is capable of, if your striker pairing is Harry Kane, he can drop deep, create a good chance for you, and you score from it. Not every number 9 is capable of doing that.
Right. But to me, he's the consummate number 9. He's a prototypical because of the fact he plays that position and he does it well. I don't consider him a hybrid.
He's not. No, here's the thing. That's what we call hybrid. Kane cannot play as a winger, so he's not a hybrid number 9.
But he does come deep and he does cross the ball. And when he is on the wing, he's done that for England. He crosses the ball very well because most number 9s that cross the ball, they know where to cross it because they know where they would want the ball.
Let's just say he's a complete number 9. He's a complete player. And here's where that comes into my argument is this: if you are a number 9, the sort of, you could say, the mammoth. You remember him? Don't say
vaguely.
Don't say it. If you could say the mammoth type of number 9, I don't think you will succeed under Mauricio Pochettino.
No.
And that's exactly, and that's because you're more of a traditional number 9. All he does well is let him be the point of. Let him be. You can say whatever the team gets to the final third, channel every goal scoring opportunity through him. All he does is get into the box and wait for the ball to put it in the back of the net. That's not the sort of number 9 Mauricio Pochettino likes to. You can say likes in his squad. And if we've heard the argument during the transfer window, he wants a number 9 that can play across all the attacking phase. Yeah.
So to me,
go ahead, Roger, you were saying something. Sorry.
This is me. I think you misunderstand me. A Lewandowski, a Kane. These are, to me, prototypical number 9s.
They are, yeah.
And they come deep.
I'd take Kane over Lewandowski, and I'll tell you why. He has more to his game than Lewandowski.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying Lewandowski in his prime for a good decade was amazing, coach. He was, yeah. I wanted him at Chelsea years ago. I'm just giving him and Kane as examples. Like an Ivan Toney, I would put him in the same same description. You know, I want a prototypical number 9. Like you look at Jackson, he isn't. You can tell that.
Can we use the term? You can say a complete number 9 that's capable of doing everything and not just waiting in the box for the ball.
Right. That knows how to make runs, that knows how to use his head.
Exactly.
Right. And so I put Kane in that position. I put Lewandowski. I put Toney in that position, etc. You look at a Jackson, he's not. You can tell he's a fish out of water. But he's doing well, but just not aerially. And to me, we need someone that is clinical aerially, like a Kane, etc. Like a Haaland. Like, you can't say Haaland is like the woolly mammoth. He does.
No, but he differs. Let me. I was going to say something. Let me just, Roger, please. I'm sorry. Let me say this quickly. You see that run, that delicious save that what's his name made, that Sanchez made. Mm-hmm. Do you know that? I think if you paid attention, Haaland had to change where he was going to beat Thiago Silva to the ball.
No, I get that. Yeah.
He changed the trajectory of his, again, where he was running to, and now had to switch to front of to make sure the ball doesn't reach Thiago Silva. But in the case of Woolly Mammoth,
he's a poacher. That's what all he is, basically.
Once he said in one direction, he doesn't turn around, and then he'll turn around, be asking you, why did you play the ball to his feet?
Yeah, he's a poacher.
It
Listen, he's not a very mobile number 9.
did
In
that.
that
That's
sense.
footballing intelligence. Go ahead, Roger. Sorry.
So I would prefer a Tony. I would prefer a Kane. That kind of high-end prototypical number 9. That's what I'm looking for. I think, like, hypothetically, if Kane was in our team this year, I think he would have more goals than anyone
Oh
in our
yeah.
team. I think he would
Oh
flourish in
yeah.
that.
Even from last 3 years till now.
Well, yeah, I'm
Not
talking about
just this
specifically
season.
this year. I'm talking about
Yeah.
specifically this
No,
year.
but just add the last 2 years. Believe me, you're not going to be wrong.
How many goals do you think he would have got versus Spurs? 9-man
I think
Spurs.
90% of those chances this Jackson has missed, he put them away.
Yes, he's more
Yeah.
clinical, especially
Yeah.
aerially. And so, like,
He
if we
probably have more assists.
if we're going to spend 100, 150 million, get someone like him, even though he doesn't fit the profile because of his age, but he's still got, in all likelihood, another 2-3 years left in him if he looks after his body and if he's lucky enough to stay fit. So I would rather see that than anything else, than say an Evan Ferguson. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic in that. It's just,
I don't think we're actually serious about it.
No.
We're actually
and of
interested
course
in
not.
Ferguson, yeah.
But this is what we need. We need someone that is going to be even. I tell you what. Even what's his name? The Liverpool player. I forgot his name.
Salah.
No. They're number 9. They got him like
Who?
2 seasons ago. Nunes.
Mane.
Nunes.
I
like him. I like him a lot.
Can I say this? I like his fighting spirit, but in terms of back touch, if what's his name? If Willie Mammoth has a back touch,
But have you
Darwin
seen?
Nunes
Have you
had
seen
back
some of
touch
it?
premium.
Yeah, but have you seen some of the
Have you
goals?
seen the sort of chances he misses?
Yeah, and have you seen some of the goals he scored though? When
I
he
get it,
came on
yeah.
as a sub, when he's on form, and don't forget he hasn't played that much. I'm telling you, I like him. Yeah,
Have you followed him? Have you watched this? Has he followed him this season? I
Yeah.
think you should. I like his fighting spirit. He has that fighting spirit, that edge in terms of his
He
spirit
has-
or whatever commitment to the course whenever he's on the pitch. But wow, I
Coach,
can't
Jesus.
believe I'm saying this. I think I would think.
Coach, he has
Go ahead, yeah.
deficiencies. Don't get me wrong, but he's young and he's fast. He's powerful. He needs time to work on it. He's a bit raw. He's not the finished
Maybe
article.
he can improve. Maybe he can still improve.
Yeah,
How old is he?
I'm not sure. He's in his early 20s, I believe. He's a good player. But
I wouldn't take him at Chelsea right now. I think I'd rather Santiago. What's his name? The other one from plays in the Netherlands. He's an excellent finisher, an intelligent player. Roger, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm a Chelsea fan, but seriously, I enjoyed that intelligent run that Haaland used to beat Thiago Silva because Thiago Silva thought the ball was his.
Yeah, but listen. In my opinion, Haaland should have won the Ballon d'Or, not because of someone that basically walked around on a final. You know, I'm sorry, he's the best number 9 in the world. He's the most prolific.
Yeah,
listen,
Roger, I think you should check the comments. That's something for you from the from the beautiful game.
Sure.
Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. I want some fight from Bali. If we make top 4, some gift from Bali, so to speak. Mbappe would be sold. Even if Mbappe would be sold. Do I think he comes to Chelsea? I'm not too sure. I think he ends up joining Real Madrid as a free agent. That's just my opinion. Roger Kane can head the ball. He's an excellent header of the ball, even better than Slabhead, according to Roger. Kane is a complete striker. That's a better language to use for him. Maybe we should be using the term, we need a complete striker. We need a striker that can be a spearhead, for lack of a better language, a point man, and at the same time able to create chances, good on the ball, not an awful first touch and all that. Not everyone in Chelsea senior leadership or recruitment team feels Ivan Toney is the right choice, especially mid-season when he's gone so long without playing. You see, because we need somebody that will come in and have instant impact, because we want to make we want European football desperately, and we've heard that from that the owners want us to achieve a European football place. Friends, let us not forget rumors in the summer said that Poch wants Lautaro Martinez. Poch wants what's his name? The Juventus striker. Poch wants Osimhen and all that. Yeah, exactly. So let's not forget that. But Kane is better in corporate. You can say that. No way Ivan Toney is like Kane. He's not even close. But Roger was just making the point. Toney is traditional number 9. But he has more to his game. You can say he has more to his game, in my opinion. After the game on Sky's, Jamie Carragher suggested that Chelsea should grant Poch the authority to choose his preferred signings. That has always, I don't think since he joined us, we signed any player without him okaying the signing of the player. So people should just looking for, we can say, issues where none exists, in my opinion. This is the key for Chelsea to challenge City, Liverpool in the future. If you watched the game against City, none of those players looked like he didn't want them. They all, you can say, executed his tactics to a T. Yeah, I get it, defensive error and all that, the deflection and all that. But I don't think there's an issue in terms of how we sign players. Kane is like Benzema. You cannot put Toney in that category. Please don't. He didn't do that. He's just explaining something, in my opinion.
I tell you what, though, Tony, if he came to Chelsea, hypothetically, he would be a hit. I think he would be clinical. If you watch him for Brentford last season, he was amazing.
Go ahead.
And he is by far not playing on a. Chelsea is much better than Brentford. Yeah, they beat us, but they beat us not in a skillful. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, he can head the ball.
Yeah. Crystal clear.
He's a great penalty taker. He's lethal with both feet. He's physical. He's strong. He's fast. He's everything you need. He's better than anything we have on our team going forward, scoring for number 9s. That's not even open for discussion. Did he get like 20 goals last year?
I don't remember how many, but around that number or something.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think I agree with you in terms of Premier League experience, but some people will always bring up the experience. It's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee, but it reduces the risk. It reduces the risk.
It's more so of a guarantee being successful in this league than it is if you're successful in another league, because of the speed and the physicality of this league. So I beg to differ. You know, he's a proven commodity, coach. He's a proven commodity in this league, which you can't say about Osimhen. So I'm not saying Osimhen cannot succeed in this league. I'm not saying that. I'm merely saying that we've seen so many players come from other leagues and cannot make that transition. Tony has already proven,
there's less risk.
He's proven he can succeed in this league, and he has done. So this is what I'm saying, based on that, and based on the fact that he has all the attributes required that have been proven to be successful in this league. My only reservation is the off-the-field
issues. Yeah, which
I think we cannot doubt that because it's proven.
Do you think for the fact he hasn't played because he's suspended and hasn't played in a while, do you think that would be an issue to consider? Because we need somebody to come in and hit the ground running. Do you think that would be an issue?
Possibly not. We don't know. I think, listen, today, these athletes, they're not like in the 70s and 80s where they're having drinks and cigarettes at halftime. These chaps nowadays are finely tuned athletes. So I think it's going to be, it will take him a game or two to get up to speed, like a preseason. Other than that, no, I think it's going to be fine. I really do.
Yeah, and again, you have to be honest, match fitness is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, exactly. It will take him time, a couple of games, but it won't be significant, in my opinion, assuming he stays healthy, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. This says Kane's game has evolved significantly over time. Initially coached at Sports by Pochettino and integrated into the first team. His ability to drop deep developed later in Pochettino's tenure. That's what Pochettino likes so much. And boy, He's killing it in Germany. He's broken 2 records right now, I think, or 1 in terms of goal. A newcomer of the amount of goal a newcomer scores in how many games he's assisting, he's scoring. He's enjoying life, and I'm glad he went to Bayern. In my opinion, he deserves that.
So you look at a prolific scorer in the Premier League, and he goes to the Bundesliga and he's lighting it up. Okay, and then you look at people that were prolific in the Bundesliga and have not lit it up here. We can name several of them: Kai Havertz, Werner. I'm a bit gun shy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we did talk about Willie Mammoth. You see, DJ is not happy. You mentioned that name here. Nunes has been missing goals. I think he's been awful of late, in my opinion. Kane can adopt in every style. He's an excellent player. And unfortunately, some people hated me for saying I don't think he comes to Chelsea for obvious reasons at the time I explained. And people thought it was a joke, saying I don't sound like a real Chelsea fan. And I think they're learning the hard way. He went to where he wants. He's going to get a chance to win something immediately. But keep subscribing to each other's YouTube channel. Let's help each other grow. We will get there. Let's help each other get to at least 10,000 each. I think we can do that. Nunes has more memes than goals. Yeah, people get his touch, his misses nowadays are so awful. Even Werner didn't miss that much for Chelsea, in my opinion.
But Werner didn't score the goals he scored for Liverpool also. Have you not watched the goals he scored?
You could argue that too.
So he came on as the substitute and got 2 goals. I forget who it was this season.
I remember that. And that game, he showed the fighting spirit he has in him. But
not just fighting spirit, coach. The quality of the both goals were outstanding. So you can't deny that. Which means he has it in him.
Yeah, I'd keep Raheem Sterling over him, in my opinion.
They're completely different players, coach. You're comparing.
I know, but I'll keep Raheem Sterling in terms of the inconsistency. Is something they have in common.
But is Sterling a number 9? No. So why compare him, coach? They're not the same players.
No, I'm saying in terms of inconsistency, I'd rather keep Sterling and play him as false 9 than play Nunes.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. That's
no way. No way, because you know what? I tell you why not. Because bloody Sterling can't head the ball, and Nunes can. So I beg to differ. No way. If you would rather have Sterling as a false 9 over Nunes as a number 9. Oh my God.
Here's my argument is that Nunes, I think he's still very young. I'm not sure how old
he's raw. He's raw.
I think at most 23. I don't think he's 23 actually yet.
He's young and he's raw.
He will get there, but boy, he's been missing quite a lot in my opinion. And his first touch is awful. That's not to say he's not going to get better. Nunes doesn't start regularly because he's not being clinical. And he frustrates, Klopp, actually. He's talked about it too. If you see Klopp talking about how he scores in training, which is the same thing we've seen with some of our young players too, scoring quite a lot in training, but on match day, they don't know where the goalpost is. I think he will come good. He's a fine player. Hopefully, it's not too late by the time he picks up form because Klopp doesn't wait that much. He drops into the bench, just signs another player. So let me get this straight. Roger loves Nunes but hates Sterling. Coach, I beg, introduce him.
No, but they're different players. You're comparing apples to oranges. So
no, I think he's talking about in terms of what they have in common: inconsistency and force touch issues in most cases. Yeah, not their position.
But guess what? He's better in the air. That alone, I would take him over.
And
plus, he's much younger. He's got a better upside potential.
All right. This says, what else do we have here? See, this Nunes situation, we should be careful when picking new strikers. I'm just glad we didn't sign him, even though I think he's a good player, but will come good. But I don't think we have the luxury right now. By the way, Jackson has more goals than Nunes, Saka, Alvarez, and Mbuemo. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. We don't really need a complete 9 since we have Nkunku playing behind the striker. But we need, you could say, a striker that's more of a, you could say, have that traditional attribute of that number 9, powerfully built, can unsettle defense with this, you could say, a power approach and all that. I don't think you get the concept of what we're talking here. It will be like Alvarez playing behind Haaland City, but instead having Nkunku and Osimhen. Okay, that was you're mentioning. I think Poch has some really important conversations with Sterling when he started to play like this. I hope he again he performs like that consistently. That's all I ask of him. Going forward, I only see Poch adding top-end world-class players to the squad. Only players that can greatly improve and are better than what we presently have should be signed. I think I agree with that. Southgate is having more effect on Sterling than everybody right now. You could argue the reason Sterling is performing at the level he's performing right now is because England snubbed him. Let's hear you, Roger, if you're there. I know Bobby, if he wants to speak, he can come in. Do you think that's partly the reason why he's performing at the highest level right now? Because Southgate has snubbed him. Is it 3 times now? How many times now?
Only he will know.
I think that's the truth. Yeah.
Only he will know. And if that's the case, then that makes his case even worse. That denigrates him more, which means he doesn't put 100% effort each and every week, because he should be putting this effort every time he steps on the field. So to me, that's even more. Do you see him recalled?
Do you see Southgate recalling him anytime?
Don't know. Who knows? I would say possibly.
There's no space there.
Possibly because of the fact, guess what? He's shown loyalty to players historically. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Who knows? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Who knows?
Wasn't there an argument that he called up Rashford that isn't even? I think I've seen. I can't quite recall what I saw.
Yeah, Rashford's I think called up for the squad.
I'd say maybe it's over for him. Really,
there's a lot of people are saying that.
Mm-hmm. I think so, because Palmer emerging, Foden is there, and
Grealish.
Grealish.
Foden,
I
Grealish.
think he would take some.
You don't like Grealish, do you?
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't like Grealish at all.
I like Grealish. I'm just saying, it's too much, too many players there that that the manager will select over him. I like Grealish. I
would take Grealish over Sterling.
I will anytime, any day. Anytime I need it, but I don't think Grealish is quite performing at the level I wanted him to reach. As I thought he'd reach at City. If anything, I think Pep tamed him, in my opinion. I don't know how else to say that. Let's hear you, Bobby. You want to add anything to that? Sorry, Roger.
We'll see. To me, I don't want to hear. So in the NFL and NBA, in interviews, that's all you ever hear is, "Sorry, I didn't get up for the game." Who says that? This is basically what he is alluding to. Like if
who said that? Who said
no? Just generally, you hear this in interviews in NFL and NBA. We weren't up for the game today, which means we just weren't prepared. We didn't amp ourselves. To me, that means that if Sterling is only getting up for games because he wants to prove something to someone, then that to me is unacceptable. That makes the case even worse.
Yeah, I do agree. Bobby, let's hear you. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I have to agree. There's not much to add to it. I totally agree with what Roger's saying. If he's only getting up for games at this stage in his career just because he wants to prove something transiently, then that's not good enough for a player of his experience. I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt and think not. I would like to say that his performances are due to an added fitness and are also due to the overall improvement of the team, which enhances him to enhance his abilities. This is how I want to look at it. Of course, there's the incentive. He's been snubbed by the England manager a couple of times and he wants to show he's still got it. I know that. But you know what? We all know how the England team goes. A lot of these players that are being called up now, they're not going to make it to the Euros. I've been watching England long enough to know that the final selection for major competitions always has the tried and trusted, and on the day, some of these players are dropped and so on. I was a little bit skeptical about Palmer being called up. I think his call up is mainly just to encourage him. Yeah, it's mainly just to encourage him than anything else. And fair enough, he's a young lad. If it's good to encourage him. But for us to have any illusions of him, suddenly being a regular now, I think it's a reach. I'm also slightly concerned with media interest. I've seen what our English media is like. They love building up players and they love tearing them down.
Oh yeah,
And I don't want too much notice on Palmer. I didn't like the attention he got after the City game. It was a lot of very Man City based attention. And it was a lot of, he did excellently well. But I'm very weary of too much talk on young English players because I've seen too often how it goes in the end. Even David Beckham, that was really the darling of the media, many a time they tried to pull him down and to hurt him and to,
but the
especially
good
after he
news,
married a Spice Girl. Sorry?
yeah, the good news about Cole Palmer is that since he's joined Chelsea, he seems to play very consistently. Very. He doesn't really have an off game. What you see is what you get. I think
And I
I
give
don't.
Pochettino credit for that. He trusts him and he made it open. He didn't hide
Yeah,
the feeling that he lost the key. Yeah.
I think it was Julian Lescott. I believe. Or is it Julian Lescott that is the the England under 21 or under 19s coach?
The former
He was.
Everton player.
Yeah,
Mm.
he. I think he's the one that was telling Micah Richards like last season that this kid's for real. You know, Micah said that on I think
You
it
know,
was on a
I,
podcast.
I believe, you know me, if I have a belief or faith in a player, I will stick with that player until I really, really see otherwise. And
Exactly.
I keep making reference to Gallagher. I believed in Gallagher from day one, and I will stick with it. And thankfully, he's beginning to show what he's about. And I believe that Cole Palmer is the truth. I think he's the truth.
He's
But
the real deal.
I dislike the attention. I don't think he needs the attention. I think he can handle it,
Yeah, so
but
do I
I don't think
actually.
he needs it. I don't like it. Because I know a lot of it is, I wouldn't say it's not genuine attention, but I think, as much as they build him up, there are
What the
those out
hype?
there. Yeah, there are those out there that will take a lot of pleasure in not seeing it work out. And I don't want that for him. Something about him tells me there's an aura about him that tells me that he's not going to be one of those that will fall by the
I
wayside.
totally agree.
He has a confidence as well as a humility. There's something about of a unassuming nature around him. He kind of reminds me of a Paul Scholes character. I was a massive Paul Scholes fan, although he played for Man United. And why did I like Paul Scholes? Paul Scholes was a player that was never in the limelight, always performing 8, 9 out of 10s every game, and never really being shown the gratitude for it. I think he was one of the best midfielders England has had
He was
ever.
amazing for England.
Yeah, but he went unnoticed, and the fact that he wasn't noticed too much, I think it helped his career. I would like a little less notice on Cole Palmer, and I think he will go through the roof. But you know what we're like, we find an English gem, we overdo it. It goes into the hands of the media, and we're
Yeah.
always looking for a messiah.
I
That
think this
And
reminds
guy
me
can
of what Theo Wall called Jack Wilshere. Oh my gosh.
but
exactly,
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
this
you name it.
I think Jack was a bit unlucky with his injuries, but this guy I think can handle it. He just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
but
Well,
also it's
time will
important
tell.
we Chelsea have to also manage him well to don't ever let him feel like he's arrived.
Yes. Yes, that's
That's a
one
big
major
problem.
thing. Don't ever let him feel like he's arrived because the media will. And it's a very thin line to walk,
Yep.
because he's
It can
so
destroy a
important for
player.
us. Yeah, he's so important for us. But, I don't like all this hype around him. I really don't. I hate it, in fact, because I don't think it's coming from a good place for a very, very, very talented youngster. We have this way of damaging our talent. You look at the Brazilians and that, yeah, their media come around certain players, but they manage to nurture and protect their talent, but we don't. We throw them out to the wolves. And I don't want that for him. I'm hoping that being with Pochettino will help him keep his feet on the ground
I think he will.
and
Yeah.
will sometimes do things. I remember the late Bobby Robson. He was an
Oh
expert
yeah.
at this, as is Jose Mourinho. All of a sudden you're playing and he'll pull you off. And the player will be left wondering why. Oh, I had a great game. Why on earth has this guy taken me off? He's taken you off to keep your head in check. You see
Grounded.
what I mean? Jose was an expert at that. He will take you off to make you realize that you're still a humble kid. And the interview Pochettino gave about Nicholas Jackson, that he scored a hat trick, but he could have got six,
Yeah.
That sort
made
of
me
thing. I like
realize.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's okay, son. You did well, but you're not quite good there. And truly, he's not quite there. And truly, Cole Palmer's not quite there. There's a lot more still to come for him. So he's in the right hands, and I hope Poch really watches out for him, because the wolves are circling, the vultures are looking for a late lunch, and we just got to make sure that it's not Cole Palmer.
No, I think his man management, with the young players, I think he knows how to interact and communicate with these
Mhm.
Yes.
youth players, and he's a proven commodity. I'm talking about Poch. So I'm actually, I don't have any qualms about this, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Yeah.
But I know what you're
And,
saying, Bobby.
yeah,
Yeah.
and quickly before I start reading again what we have in the chat, I'm gonna skip a few until get to the very bottom. We have a few items to get, and soon it'll be time to go pick up my boy from school. And I'm gonna say this: I think one of the issues I've mentioned a few things. Part of it is that Mason Mount, since he left, he said got done with his long spell at the Netherlands in the Netherlands and came back to England. You could say the coaches he worked under didn't pay attention to the fact that he was still a kid. That he's still a kid and needs a lot of coaching. They didn't do that. They see him as a player who's you could say who that's arrived, especially after winning the Champions League. Even him, you could argue that at some point he started feeling as if he's arrived. And I'm not going to get into that because it breaks my heart because I know there's a good player in him. But unfortunately, even Frank that liked him that much, that gave him his first Chelsea senior team appearance, didn't coach him that much. Only wanted him on the pitch because of the amount of running, the pressing, and all that. Thomas Tuchel nearly walked him to death. Um, but I hate to talk about it. Unfortunately, it has happened, and United signed him as an established player and not as a player who has anything else to learn, but a player who's coming to them and has a lot to offer, and not even to get him to help him become better. But I don't want to talk about that. DJ saying, I thought a Poch stated in an interview, not all the players assigned were his decision making. I don't remember that. I think we're twisting that a bit. I don't remember even that. If that isn't the case, I don't think he'd come out and say it as clearly as you stated it there in that particular comment, in my opinion. But maybe he did, but I don't remember that. Don't understand this EPL proven thing. It's a thing. It's not a guarantee, but it reduces the risk, in my opinion.
What
And it's the truth. Sorry, Roger.
what do you mean? Reduces what? He's a
In the sense,
any
for instance, let me give you an example. If you sign a player that hasn't played in the Premier League before, he has time. You don't. There's no guarantee. There's no way to tell that player will succeed in the league. But if you have a player, for instance, Ivan Toney that you've been mentioning, to be specific, he's played in the league. He's done it in the league. He's scored so many goals in the league. So that part of it, that part of the concern that whether we're not sure whether a player does well in the Premier League, forget about it. You can say, yeah, he would do well in the Premier League. The other aspect is whether he adapts. You can say adapts well to the way the manager approaches the game.
Exactly.
That's a different thing altogether. So my
Right.
point is, yeah, people will always argue, yeah, it's not a guarantee, but the truth is, yeah, the fact that the player has played in the Premier League reduces the risk you take when you sign a player that plays in other leagues.
Right, there's always a risk, period.
Yeah, there's always a risk there.
However,
yeah, that's my point.
You're right, 100%, because I think a lot of the time a player that doesn't succeed for a Premier League team is because of either the climate, the culture, and the physicality and the speed of this league. It's that simple. And that is seriously reduced when you actually sign a player that has been successful.
Yep.
For in this league for another team, it's dramatically reduced.
Yeah, so that's my point there. But a lot of people say disagree, but probably not paying attention to how we're presenting the argument. We've seen so many players come from a smaller Premier League teams and flop. We've seen also some players come from a smaller Premier League club and excel. Yeah, so there's no guarantee. Kochila, which club will pay Brentford 100 million for Tone? I don't think so. The fact that Chelsea are prioritizing Osimhen, that is you believing that Chelsea are prioritizing Osimhen. No way to confirm that that's the case. Arsenal will get him even for 15 million or 45 million. Brentford are overcharging because Chelsea wanted him. That may well be the case. And Logan is in the house. Logan clearly hasn't moved on from Thomas Tuchel there. Seems Brighton merchant Paul Winstanley trying to bring another overrated player to make his old friends happy and rich. You're the one drawing that conclusion. There's no way to tell if we're even interested in signing Ivan Ferguson. Yeah. So, but yeah, let's see what else we have here. Tone has never played with a team with real pressure to win. You could argue that may well be a thing, but I'm not too concerned that's the case, really. He's represented England, hasn't he? Which you could say even more pressure than Chelsea, in my opinion. Tone is playing, they're the best piece coach in league. Okay. Do you think he would do well by joining the team with worst set piece record? Maybe maybe we improve if he joins us. Maybe he will be the guy that will attack the ball when somebody puts it in the box. You can see Pochettino wasn't happy. That ball that Chelsea Reece James put inside the box, a set piece, nobody attacked it. We were literally waiting for him to find their head. I couldn't believe that. It does.
Yeah.
I laughed. I was like, what? Even primary school students would try to attack the ball and not wait for the ball to come to their head. I like Osimhen's haircut. At least something about him that you like. So Ruben Diaz comes to EPL and becomes the best CB in short time. He came from Portuguese league. That's besides the argument.
We're not saying any player can't succeed.
Yeah.
We're just saying it reduces the percentage of a player succeeding.
Yeah, of the risk you take when signing. Every new player is a risk.
For sure.
Every new player is a risk. Even if you sign Haaland today to come to Chelsea, it's a risk. But the risk is you can say it's reduced to a significant, you can say percent, for lack of a better language there. He comes, if you create the chances for him, he scores a goal. But the other risk is, how is he going to do if we don't create good enough chances? You can say there's so many ways, so many angles to it, if you get the point there. Spurs have a buyback clause in the sale of Harry Kane. Wonder how much that's going to be since they sold him for 80 million euros plus. How much is going to be the buyback?
Yeah, they sold him for over 100 million, didn't they?
This of over 100 million? Was that? Oh, okay.
I think so. 105 or something.
So how much is going to be the buyback clause? 30 million pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that, Raja. Osimhen isn't that proven. He only had good numbers last season. No, he's been scoring. If anything, it is his injury and the other stuff I've argued against. We need to focus to score more goals from the ground, not from head. All of them. They're all add to the number of goals we score. This heads goes when you cannot create anything. Wow. Really? Per David Onston, none of the signings are attributed to Poch. Pa who? David Austin. Did you say Pa Pa what's his name? Did you say Pa Mauricio Pochettino? No, you didn't. That is David Austin. And there's no way, I don't know. I'm quite sure he didn't discuss anything with Mauricio Pochettino, which is the primary reason Chelsea is supporting him and allowing him to oversee transfers in the upcoming January summer windows. Here's the thing. No matter how you see it, whether you're correct, whether I'm wrong, whether I'm correct and you're wrong, and vice versa, it doesn't matter really. The club, the new ownership, they have the foundation to what they want to do. They've signed a lot of young players, and believe me, that's the project. That's another way to define the simplest way to define the project. It's a lot of young players that will be together for a while, and then when they gel, they'll be fearsome, or for lack of a better language. Then now you can mix it up with experience. Maybe they say, okay, now we want to sign experienced players. Which of the experience? Name them. Name any experienced player you want, and we'll try our best to get that player for you. But my point is, there's no way you tell me that Chelsea will sign a check for any player without Pochettino okaying it. Remember, he was the one that told them not to forfeit the pursuit of Manuel Ugarte, wasn't he? So everything now is just what we're hearing, all speculations. None of them had a conversation with Mauricio Pochettino, and finally, he'd be a manager right now, in my opinion. But I get it. I get where you're coming from, and if we pay attention to the reports that suggest that he'd have more. The language they use is that he'd have more power, more power. That shows you, he had some power before, but now he'd have more say. You can say in terms of what player will sign or not. So I don't dwell on these things when I read them, in my opinion. But that's just who I am. But again, you said Pa David Austin and not Pa Mauricio Pochettino. Roger, we get it. You hate Sterling. I am sure Coach will do a whole stream dedicated to the seasons of fraudulent 11 and bet Roger starts over Sanchez. Wow. Let's see. I don't get the Tone hype. He has done it at a team that requires more from him. That is just a theory. I respect Tone, but he's not under any freaking pressure. Let's talk about Jack Grealish. He's done well at Manchester City, even though I'd argue he hasn't done as well as I expect him to do, because he's a player I've followed from his days at was it Aston Villa? Yeah, Aston Villa. He's done really, really well. But the pressure there is bigger than the pressure he used to face at Aston Villa. But look how well he's doing. So I'd also let you know that the pressure thing for me, it's not an issue. If you're really a good player, you're good. If anything, if you get to play with better players, you do even better. That's the theory I've heard since I started following. Again, you can say I became an adult and continued following football. Let's see what else we have here. Count me into. Let's see, Coach. Please change the subject. I wouldn't want to wake up with horse head at the foot of your bed. Big up, Roger. Let's see anything else. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. How can you say that Osimhen isn't tested in the Premier League? That's the argument somebody was making. Yeah. Except if somebody made a different argument that I didn't see. Man has been shining since the FIFA Under-17. I agree with you, but that's beside the argument. I think you're mixing things up here. You didn't pay attention to the person's argument at the worst stage, and would soon be the highest goal scorer for the Nigerian national team. Man is a killer. You can say it's a killer goal scorer completed there. But here's the thing: I haven't following his Super Eagles exploits. I don't know how many goals he scored for Nigeria and all that. I agree, Roger and Coachella out to Chelsea. Don, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Sterling wasn't even trying to help us last season. Lots of the players at the time weren't trying to do that. Good day to you too, a lot of people. I hope you're doing well. Sterling being outstanding. Yep, Cole Palmer will be struggling. You don't think without Sterling that you think without Sterling that Cole Palmer will be struggling? Okay. That's your opinion. I believe Sterling is someone who performs well with motivation. Elite players typically maintain discipline regardless of circumstances. A quality I perceive to be lacking in Sterling. Wow, in his case, final touch of Sterling in decision making is costing Sterling in England squad. Do you think that's the case? All right, I'm going to scroll past quite a lot to get to the very bottom. That's wrong. A viewpoint of Sterling. If someone isn't chasing you, then you may be chasing something. Whatever gets Sterling up in the morning is his motivation. That is not our business to judge. That's deep, really. But unfortunately, people, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and now try to get your subsequent contributions. Hit the mute button for who? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Roger, please, can you still hear me? I hope I'm not on mute.
No.
Okay, here's this one. Victor Osimhen is open to a move to Chelsea, but the Blues may have to wait until next summer. Nizar Kinsella, I don't know whether to trust that or not. To trust him or not, I don't know him that well. But there's more to come. Osimhen 17 goals from matching Yakini's 37 goals for Nigeria. Wow. And he'll get there. At 24. How old is he again? He will get there soon because he scores quite a lot.
How old is Osimhen, coach?
I think 24. Let me find out here. Can somebody in the chat there help us? How old is Victor Osimhen? Let me find. I think he's 24.
Okay. He's young.
Yeah, he's young. So he will surpass Yakini's record because Yakini, I think he emerged, you could say, late onto the big scenes of in football. Let me see Osimhen age.
Honestly, Reece James is
24.
Sorry? I'm just watching some of these games. Reece James, this guy, he must be kept fit. Not only is he such a magnificent player, but he's so important for Chelsea. He is so important for Chelsea.
He's pivotal.
It's no coincidence. Yeah, it's no coincidence that with Reece James back, we're playing like this. Some of the balls he's puts through, oh my God,
Gentlemen, he doesn't. We don't make top 8 if
without Reece.
Period.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care who else we sign or whatever.
Yeah, he's that important, maker. Really.
Yeah,
very.
He is that important. An excellent player. His intelligence, passes. Wow.
He's a captain. People criticize him for not talking on the pitch like John Terry. Not everybody can be John Terry. But the thing with Reece James is that he doesn't need to talk. His game talks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I think he's improving, actually. His leadership, he's improving in terms of his leadership. I've seen him, you can say, just rewatch that game. I think you'll see occasions where he's going to speak with his teammates, consoling them. And when you're going out, he speaks with you. When you're coming and whisper something to your ear, he doesn't have to be the most vocal. But I'm seeing signs that he's improving. And I think I knew at the time he wasn't ready, but I knew with time, I think you can say he will grow into the role, and I'm seeing that in my opinion. But go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
For sure. I mean, Reece James is massive. There is no question on earth of Chelsea. He can't leave Chelsea. It's just not even. It shouldn't even be an utterance, because this guy, he is going to. He is massive. He is just the blueprint of anything we're going to do in the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put it that way. Just stay fit. That's all. I mean, look at him. He's half fit and he just galvanizes the team to heights that are incredible. You look at all the goals we scored. I'm even looking back because on YouTube, Chelsea Football Club have this thing where they've got the City game, the Tottenham game, the Arsenal game, and the Liverpool game. The 4 games that we've really kind of shown ourselves well, and it's no coincidence that all those games Reece James has played a major part. And you watch the balls he's putting through, you're thinking, my God,
I
some
enjoy
of
his
these
side foot
passes.
passes more.
Yeah.
Slice.
30-yard passes, dribbles, winning the ball, crossing the ball, shots on goal. Oh, man.
To me, it's his crosses more than anything.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're still looking for what's the Belgium international he put in his pocket?
Oh, Daku.
Yeah, he dealt with him. And before the game, I was saying I'm not too concerned. What's his name?
I was scared of Doku.
I wasn't. I did say
James,
before during the pregame show that Reece can handle him. But go ahead, Bobby.
I didn't think Reece was fit enough to handle him the way he did. But Reece James pockets anybody that's on his wing. Anybody. He's that good. He in my opinion, Reece James should be amongst one of the best 10 players in the world today. In my opinion, that's how highly I rate this guy.
Yeah, but his
so
injuries,
good.
you can say we were frustrated at the time.
Very much so.
Nobody blames us. Yeah, you can't blame us for getting frustrated with him. Go ahead, Bobby.
How can you miss that sort of quality and not be frustrated? It's like Barcelona being without Lionel Messi in their heyday for a whole season. The fan base would be going nuts because he is the team, and with us, it's Reece James. We need Reece James on the field. I don't care what anybody says. That guy has to be, I remember watching the 1994 World Cup. Yeah, I'm showing my age. Oh, there you go. And Italy had Roberto Baggio.
Yeah.
And Baggio was so important to them that he came into the World Cup. He wasn't really quite fit. And it was, excruciating weather in America then in terms of the summer. They really had an Indian summer. It was so hot. And, he wasn't quite fit. And as the tournament went on, you could see ice packs, cold packs, whatever packs, injections, everything they did to keep Baggio on the pitch because he was that important. And he was so patched up as a player. And those are the days I'm sure they would drug some of these players. It's just that it was the early days and the doping techniques weren't really that easily detectable. But I'm sure, this guy was given injections just to play. And I don't think it helped his career in the end. And the penalty shootout they had in the end, I think it was in the final or semi-final when Italy lost. And it was his penalty that... And it wasn't that Baggio wouldn't have banged in that penalty. I just think his legs were... I'm sure he wasn't even feeling his legs when he took that shot because injections and cold packs and heat packs and ice packs and everything just to keep him going. I think he was walking on numb legs. So when he took the penalty, I don't think he really was Baggio taking that penalty. And why am I talking about Baggio? He was that important to Italy. And I just look at Reece James, the same thing. We can't do without him. Can't do without this
I think
guy.
he's our most important player, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you can say that. Even he just it reminds us again. Wow, what a player he is! I can't. There's nothing else comes to mind than just his most important player, like Roger just said. Yeah.
And coach, this geezer's not even fit. He's not
he's
fit.
not, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can imagine when he's fully fit. Reece James is a monster.
Can I quickly ask, how do we find out how Malo Gusto got hurt?
It may have been something that happened during that game against Man City, but they didn't notice that maybe he felt something because we heard nothing about him getting injured during a training session. No.
What is he, 19? Why are
19.
so many of our players especially
It
the
happened during
youthful
the
ones.
City game for sure.
Yeah, I'm perplexed how we're getting so many injuries.
Who
I
was
really
that? I
am.
think it was Uncle Justice that said something with regards to young players getting injured more often than the older players. That's because you're demanding so much of a young body that aren't ready for so much. You can
That's
say
still
so
growing,
much
coach.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
don't
mean,
fully
this guy
stop
just
growing
came
until you're 21.
from a hamstring injury, didn't he?
Yeah.
He just
yeah.
so I don't like.
Yeah,
I
but,
like Malo Gusto.
I don't think it's anything
About
serious like we're told.
no, I would like to believe it's not. I want to believe it because out of all our, I mean, all our players are young, but we've got some younger than others. And out of all the sort of young, we're looking at the 19-year-olds, right? Malo Gusto, Leslie Ugochukwu. We haven't seen Lavia yet, but of course Lavia will come in. Those are
Yeah,
the
we have them. We have a house full of
19.
19s.
90, can you imagine that? 19
Lavia
year
is still
olds.
19. Is he 20 yet?
No.
No, Lavia's
No.
still 19. And you know, these are if I may use Roger's terms, these are fetuses.
Oh, yeah,
And
say that.
sometimes people have a go at Gusto. Oh, maybe he doesn't quite cross the ball as well as Reece James. There are many things he doesn't do as well as Reece James, who himself is a fetus, really. He's a young boy. But Gusto, my God, come on, man. I mean, you know what I mean? He's a baby. And
Mhm.
and he comes on and you barely notice the difference of
Until
him
you're told.
being. Yeah, and he's taking the place of arguably one of the best players in the world, and he's doing a good job. Okay, he missed that chance against City. Maybe he should have put his head down rather than up, and little things like that. But no,
Those are the
this,
things that will show you, yeah, he's still a kid.
yeah.
Yeah,
But he's learning. He will improve.
he will.
He will improve. I have a lot of time for that sort of talent. And another one, Leslie. I look at this guy. This guy's 19. And you see what he's doing in the midfield already. Caicedo comes off and Leslie comes on and you don't notice it. That tells you everything you need to know about the quality of that player.
Yeah.
Enzo's off. He's there. You don't notice it. We haven't even sometimes he comes on in place of the much improved Gallagher. Boy, we got some quality. We got
We
some
do.
Carney
serious
also.
quality.
We do. Yeah,
Carney
Carney,
just
another
Carney
one.
19 too, right? I
no,
forgot.
19.
no,
19.
he just turned
He
20
just
this
He
turned
month.
just turned
20.
20, yeah, but
Yeah.
you can say the same age bracket.
He's a
Yeah.
But go
codger.
ahead, Bobby. Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, I think sometimes we need to sit back and realize what we've got and what we're doing. What we're doing is really very, very unique, and it will make you forgive performances like Brentford, forgive performances like Nottingham Forest, even West Ham. We had West Ham in the pocket. When Carney came off and and Enzo missed the penalty, I would say their age then showed. They lost their heads a bit. West
Yeah,
Ham didn't deserve to win that game.
they did. But I'm
Yeah.
glad. I think the mentality is improving. 2 games now where we considered first and yet came from behind and nearly won one and nearly won the other. Could have won the other had it not been for bad refereeing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but I'm
And we're,
still,
we're,
yeah, go ahead. I'm
we're,
still
talk,
savoring that one.
we're talking of the 19-year-old bracket. We wax lyrical about Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's 20 years old. My God. Do you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? This is 20 years old. We've got a
yeah.
team. We have a
He's 21
serious.
actually, but
Cole
Oh,
still.
Palmer's
21. That
21, yeah.
even then, we have a serious squad we're putting together. We have to give these boys time. I just pray we have the results that buy the time. At the moment, we're getting the results that buy them time. Can you imagine people criticizing Enzo? Really?
Yeah. All right, let me
Really?
catch up with what we have in the chat. Bobby, please, if you don't mind, we have about
Sorry,
10 minutes
sorry.
to round off.
I'm just reflecting because I'm
Okay.
watching all these games again.
Oh,
And
yeah. Do you know I've watched that game? I don't know. I think probably more than 20 times now.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You know.
I will doze off, wake up, and then rewind it again, start again,
Yeah.
and continue watching it.
Which
And the
one?
more
The
you watch
City
it, the more
game?
you know how
20,
well we
20,
did. We outplayed them.
22-year-old
I have
Nicholas
to say
Jackson.
that.
22-year-old
Possession, the
Nicholas
fact they had
Jackson.
more of the ball than us doesn't
Yeah.
tell the
Coach, 22-year-old Nicholas Jackson playing his first season in the Premier League, and people are complaining. This kid has 6 goals. You know, really. You know, we need perspective sometimes. We really do. Sorry, I'll let you talk. I'm just.
Hello? You there, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm here. I
think
thought
we
Coach got fed
lost
up with
Coach.
me.
I think we lost
Oh,
Coach.
I thought he got fed up with me and muted me because, you know, why I'm talking like this. I'm watching all these games again, Roger.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, my God, you know, look at Brozier. How old is Brozier? 20? You know,
Let me look at it.
these are damn good players, Roger. We got really, really, really good players. Even Jackson that
22.
we're all criticizing. He's a kid.
Yeah, Broya and Jackson are 22.
Look
They're like
at
2
that.
months difference in age.
Yeah. He's a kid.
I'm actually
Broya has
more.
barely played anything in the Premier League. Jackson,
Yeah.
this is his first season. His first season. I think our fan base needs to take a chill pill. You know, it's incredible. It's incredible what we've got here.
Yeah, it's incredible. And again, the good thing is that they're going to be together for a while. And in football, once you're able to get a crop of players to stay together for even 2-3 years, they become a well-oiled machine. And you'd see a team that lots of other teams will dread playing.
Absolutely, coach. Absolutely.
My opinion. Osimhen is 17 goals. I think we've read that one. Let me catch up with what we have in the chat so we can call it. My internet connection isn't helping. I'm going to try and catch up with what we have. So
I think Coach is buffering.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You I'm actually looking forward more for Broya than anything. I want to see him play 4 or 5 games, start 4
Me
or 5
too.
games. I want to see how he meshes and fits in. Because I have
Me
a feeling.
too. I think Brozier is gonna rip up trees. I listened to the interview between Raheem Sterling and Ian Wright, and I will quote Raheem Sterling. He said, you know, he was talking to Ian Wright as a fellow striker, and just like you guys in the goalkeepers union. And he said, look, you know, when you come and you see that guy that everybody knows is that guy. And right, he said, yeah, I know what you mean. He said, for him, it's Armando Brozier. And right, he said, really? He said, yeah. I mean, this guy, he said, he said, first of all, he's the fastest player he has ever seen. And if I will quote him directly, he said, Armando Brozier is the truth. He's the truth. And, you know, people may say, he said, look, he knows players and he knows this guy's the truth. The problem is he's not been on the pitch. long enough yet. So we need to see him fit. I want to see him fit because I think if Brozier gives us 4 or 5 games on the spin, we wouldn't even be talking about Osimhen and Ivan Toney.
He's got huge upside.
Yeah.
Are you back, Coach?
Yeah, I'm back. I appreciate you guys holding the fort. I'm not sure what's happening. Sometimes I have to turn off some cameras, security cameras, because they use Wi-Fi during the day. I don't know. During the day, I think it gets worse. Greetings, Coach Osimhen will make us elite again. He's 24 years, and thank you for reminding us of 25 in a month. Okay. So let's just go with 25. I know exactly what Bobby is watching. Reece James is a special. I cannot lie. And for anyone who's asking 120 million, and I don't think we'd sell him. We're not going to sell him because I think he probably at one time will overcome the injury issues, reoccurring injury issues, in my opinion. The fitness of Reece James and Nkunku will play a crucial role in our quest to secure a top 4 spot this season. And by the way, if you're watching, if you haven't, Jerry Z started a brand new YouTube channel. The link to his YouTube channel is pinned at very top. Go check it out. Check it out. Let's help him get to 100 as soon as possible. Cherki, rumors again. Yeah, rumors are that we're interested in signing him. Bobby is the fossil. Bobby, I hope you know where that is coming from. When you talked about Roberto Baggio and said now you're showing how old you are. So Chimera picked it up and said Bobby is a fossil. Big up Kachila, out of stock Roger in older than wow. Just go away, Chimera. Young players are still growing, so they pick injuries more often. Yeah, I didn't know that until Uncle Justice talked about that. Pulisic had the same problem, but now he's fine. You could argue he's fine, but I think he got injured a few days ago, didn't he? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Gusto's game did a 180. He was a better attacker, but a worse defender in France. But right now, I think for us so far, he's shown that he actually can be a good defender. Santos, how many midfielders we have on the books? We have lots of them. We're loaded in every department, in my opinion. Except we want to mix the attacking area with more experienced players. I think that's what I think. Let's see. Bobby is a spot on. Yep. Coach, I did. Yeah, disappearing act. Coach is doing meditation. Say everything that comes to mind. Bobby kicked Coach out, gave him a red card. He may well have done that. I wish I could give Bobby access. I think he likes to talk Chelsea and Roger too. So whenever I'm having such issue, I'll just move on and they will host the show. Honestly, wish I could, but they have other priorities. I have to be honest. Denial of service attack? No, not DOD. No. Pulisic's problems are being understated. Okay, I'm not sure what to make of that. So beyond this, let's go to what else we have here. And this is John Mikel Obi being the agent we all want him to be. First of all, you could say we have the signs are good. The fact that Osimhen he idolized Didier Drogba. According to him, he had 2 jerseys, one Manchester United, one Chelsea. Do I think United will pay premium to get him? I don't know. I think if anything, if we're serious about getting him, I think he would want to come to us. And this is Mikel saying, John Obi Mikel during an interview with Osimhen on his podcast called, what's it called? Obi-Wan? Yeah, Obi-Wan podcast. Next season, I know you're going to come to Chelsea. Man. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm going to be the agent to broker that deal. I'm going to make sure that happens. We're crying out for someone like you since Didier Drogba left Chelsea. Wow. That is something special to hear from him. Even Didier Drogba has also advised him if he's going to leave Napoli, let him come to Chelsea. And during that particular interview, he did mention how much the Saudis were willing to pay to sign him from Napoli. And he said he had a conversation with the Napoli president and decided to stay. They convinced him to stay. And I guess if he looks back now, it probably, I don't know if that's the case, probably be regretting not leaving, given that coconut thing the social media admin put out. But that's, by the way, anybody on the panel has anything to say with regards to this? I think I like this. I like to see a player, a Chelsea legend, walking. You can say. Doing a pro bono job on behalf of the club, because I'm quite sure they're not paying him anything. If anything, the fact that he was able to get interviewing him on his podcast is something huge for his podcast. But let's hear you if you have anything to add to that. Anybody on the panel?
We've heard this sort of thing before, not just from ex-Chelsea players, but ex-players of other clubs. It's something I like to hear. It's something I like to see. I think with Mikel and Osimhen, I think because they are from the same sort of national team, as it were.
The same, not sort
There's
of, really the same. The same.
no, the
They play. I
same,
think they played together. Yeah, before Mikel retired.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
there's
Yeah.
the respect there, and of course there's the knowledge of each other. So I think Mikel has the privilege to speak like that to his fellow countrymen. And how much weight does it carry? I doubt if it carries much weight. Mikel isn't his agent and isn't.
But here's the thing,
I
Bobby.
don't think.
I get where you're coming from. I grew up here because I grew up in Nigeria before I came to where I am right now. I
Yeah,
think the way people are brought up there, the way people are raised there, and the way I know footballers behave, how they respect the older footballers, I think it will carry a lot of weight. Yep.
I hope so.
The only you can say the only thing would be if Chelsea if we're not willing to pay how much Napoli are asking. But Osimhen, as we've heard, also he's open to joining Chelsea. Have you not seen that yourself from
I
Nizaki
have,
Seller? Yeah.
I have,
So
and that was said after the Mikel comment. So
it, thank you. So that shows you probably you said Mikel is wielding some influence already on him
mm,
in terms of where he goes. And for Didier Drogba to have said something a while ago, I think it does wield a lot of influence, especially coming the upbringing, how they raise people in Nigeria, that I haven't forgotten about how that works. I think he will listen to Mikel. Even when he'll tell his agent, look, I've seen, for instance, Amunike was I think who was it? I think it was Kano that helped Arsenal sign who was it? Nwakali, and the other player too. Was Osimhen one of them? No. I think one other player, but Arsenal didn't like that. Wenger didn't like that particular player, even though Kano wasn't the Kids agent. They listen. I get it. Osimhen is established. He's not just coming from the under 17. He's a senior player right now, but I think he will listen to Mikel. The only issue will be: are we going to be willing to pay how much Napoli will be asking? But go ahead, Bobby. Sorry for cutting you off.
yeah, I mean, I hear you. Ultimately, removing sentiment, because I'm kind of slightly sentimental because of the consequences to Brozier. And
Mm-hmm.
as a player that has been injury prone, I would like to see him get a run. But hey, look, the reality is I want the best at Chelsea. And it seems quite likely that Osimhen is amongst the best. And his age is on his side. The only thing that counts against him is that he hasn't been in the Premier League before. And I just have this feeling that he's going to be one of those players that will be able to play in the Premier League. Didier Drogba, when he came from Marseille, he hadn't been in the Premier League before. Although he needed a year to really show us what he was about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is what could give Broja some longevity. Yeah, I mean, what price tag could they possibly put on Osimhen? 100 million, maybe. If okay, I'll say this: if the sporting directors have found something that they want in him, and Pochettino has found something that he wants in him, I have no doubt that Chelsea will get him. None at all. None. So likewise with Ivan Toney. If the sporting directors find what they want in him, regardless of his age, and Pochettino, who's now involved, finds what he wants in him, we would get him. It's either or, for sure. Either or. And I have no bones about it because I just want to see the best. The only thing I feel a sadness because I think Brozier hasn't done himself any favors. And I think Brozier could be amongst the best. The kid just has to be fit. And it is what it is. It is what it
I
is.
think he stays. I think he stays. And here's the thing, Bobby. I think you've heard me say this before. I no longer argue that the price tag of a player will be an issue for the current Chelsea owners.
No,
No, I don't think so. I
no.
think they will always, if they're serious about buying a player, no matter the price tag, they find a way to balance the books in advance, even before they do that.
Yeah.
And I've always said also, yeah, they have people behind the scenes crunching the numbers and letting them know this is a limit you can go at this point. You can do this and we'll do this to balance the books and not get into trouble. But go ahead, Bobby.
They proved that with to us with Caicedo, didn't they?
Hmm.
I mean, what Liverpool tried was purely financial gazumping. That was what they did. They came with a financial gazump, but the problem was that they hadn't got the favor of the player because Chelsea had done months and months and months of work with the player, and that work was not just during the summer. Chelsea had been working on the player on the January before, so the player was sold on a move to Chelsea. So, that was the only thing. And once that leverage was established, it then became a money battle. And
Yeah,
and Chelsea showed that they were very. Do you know what it means to drop 115 million on a footballer? My God, that's not change.
that's
Do
a
you know what I
lot.
mean? That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
And for them, and that was the second time
It's
in the
too
space
much.
of 6 months they had dropped over 100 million pounds. So these guys ain't playing around.
they're
They're
not.
not messing. They, if they want a player, they will get that player. And I think they sent that message to world football and indeed to people like Liverpool that if you want to start playing the money game, we'll play that game. And we will win. And I don't think. And the worst thing, the slap in the face to Liverpool was it was a double whammy because they did the money game with Lavia as well and lost.
Yeah, they wanted Lavia too, and they actually offered to pay more for Lavia than we were offering at the time. And
Exactly.
but we did the groundwork, and Lavia also at the time had already spoken with Hazard,
Hazard. Yeah.
and plus our players. Oh, he has also spoken with some of our the newly signed players at the time. So they thought, I don't know what they were thinking. They thought maybe I just don't know, honestly. Um,
I
well,
think Liverpool got they got their wires crossed. They lost their discipline. They
mhm,
lost their financial discipline and they wanted to throw money at a player against a club that you see whether we like it or not or whether some of these people like it or not. Chelsea they hoped Chelsea will be destroyed when Roman left. But what has happened is that Chelsea has become an even bigger financial giant. Financially, the club is sound. The problem is FFP. Do you know what I mean? FFP is the only thing that keeps the buttons closed on the purse. If the club
mhm.
wants to spend money, they will spend money. They have spent in terms of forgetting the cost of buying the club itself. But in terms of players themselves, they have spent £1 billion over. Now, okay, it's not a net spend, but it is still a spend. Not everybody has that muscle. And
Yeah,
and Liverpool went to go and play the finance game when they didn't have the finance.
yeah,
You've got to understand that Chelsea Football Club is owned by a group of investors and this group of investors alone are have a worth of or well a financial capacity of over 90 billion now.
and what they did at the time exposed clubs hypocrisy. How he talked
Yes.
about how much we were willing to pay for a certain player, and then boom, yeah, they were willing to pay more than we were offering to Brighton at the time. And then during his press conference, he said, "Yeah, I just learned, yeah, blah blah blah," some
Yeah,
nonsense he said
he
to,
got too cocky, didn't he?
yeah, to defend his hypocrisy. Yeah, go ahead. Please, if you don't mind, Bobby, we'll have just about just a 4 more minutes to run, so we can round up. And let me go get my boy from school.
Go for it. I'll shut up.
Okay,
I've
okay,
said enough.
Roger. I don't know if you have anything else to ask. It talks about Chelsea are primed to join the race for Leon, a sensational Rayan Cherki in 2024. I think he has less than 2 years left on his contract, and he's such a talent. And some are asking, who does he replace? He's not going to replace anybody. We need them. We just Cole Palmer alone will not suffice. It's good, but Rayan Cherki has that hazard. You could say I'm not gonna, hazard. What was the language you said?
Factor. F-A-C-T-O-R.
Yeah, that has that factor. Yeah, thank you, Roger. I've told you before, you're more than just a panelist here. You're my English teacher too. So he has that factor that the sort of player that's capable of pulling a rabbit out of the hat to help a team win a game. He has it in him. We can have him. We can have Cole Palmer. That's why we're Chelsea. Some are asking. It's not a case of who he replaces. It's the question is, are we going to be able to get him? Because we're not the only ones interested in signing him. Madrid are interested. I heard Manchester United are also interested. And here, former England goalkeeper Paul Robinson has urged Manchester United target Rayan Cherki to prioritize a move to Chelsea ahead of the Red Devils. Yeah, you could say, I think probably Robinson's argument would be that we're more suitable for young players these days.
Yeah.
What do you think, Roger?
Plus, Cherki would be a good backup to Sterling.
I won't say backup. Actually, he's more technically gifted than Sterling. He's a better dribbler and all that. Yeah, I don't think he could. Here's the thing. He's so
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Do I know? He's so good that it's not just Chelsea. All the big clubs are interested in signing him, and we have you can say we have an edge in time because he's played with gusto. And last transfer window, I think during the summer transfer window or January transfer window, he was saying he wants to come to Chelsea. To rumors are that he wants to join Chelsea to get the chance to play with former teammate in Malo Gusto. But Roger, you go ahead. It looks like people are promoting us as a club more suitable for young players these days.
Listen, I think he fits the player profile, age, potential, etc. I think he fits it, and I think he'll be a welcome addition to our squad. I really do. I like him.
Yeah, we do need numbers, and it's not the sort of player you're buying to be a backup. No, he's not. He can still be on the pitch while Palmer is on the pitch. Yep. It's as simple as that. Here saying Osimhen looked up to Mikel as a mentor. He said Mikel has been helping upcoming players. That is very common in Africa, if you get my argument, but I'm glad you're saying this. He respects Mikel and Drogba. Drogba's voice too will carry weight. Osimhen speaks to Drogba too. Yeah. So we have the upper hand. And it looks like you can say the conversation he's had with the two Chelsea legends is wielding some influence with regards to what club he decides to join. And I hope he comes to us if we're serious about signing him. And I'm gonna still keep talking about my concern with regards to AFCON and all that. I've still not seen enough of Checki, but I think he's not pacey. Pace, if he's gonna be playing centrally, pace is the least of my concerns, but he can also play on the flanks too. But I think he's pacey enough, in my opinion. Yep. With that, we've come to the natural end of the show. Roger, I want to thank you so much for the energy you brought onto the panel today, the debate about Tony and Evan and the Premier League approving thing and everything. You made it a delicious show. And I want to thank Bobby to end the blue to forget. Much love to you, brother. And JC, nice to see you. A lot of people, Mesole. And Jerry Z, the owner and presenter of the Bluebird Analysis YouTube channel. He has one video out. Go check it out. Let's help him grow. Much love to you. Chimera also was in the house. And if I missed your name, apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Good night, chaps.
Good night, brother.